Hello, I'm going to try this. Hopefully you'll be able to hear me. Hopefully you'll be able to hear me with this. We're practicing this. So we'll see. There's a man with his fingers in everybody's pies. I hope he washes some of them sometimes. He talks for money, talks but he eats. He talks to keep himself off of the streets. Well, if there's anything you need, he'll pretend he's got it, and then he'll pretend that he can't part with it. So his hunger like a lawyer studies law. He can make a rich man poorer than poor because he's a shark. It's like a two-tongued double dealer, a money grabber. He's a shark. It's like a two-tongued double dealer, a money grabber. Well, he'll make two look just like three. With his jiggery pokery, make a bad thing look good to me. With his jiggery pokery. Oh, 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 oh. Well, there's a contract you sign. You could be signing your will. You used to drop you with a gun. Now they use a pencil. Words lock you up because words don't bend. Because all you get when you sign is a fountain pen. Every father and mother, sister and brother, cousin to uncle, gotta stick to each other. See, cheating's grown to be so much the fashion. I believe cheating runs the whole nation. Sharks, slackers, the two-tongued double dealing, the money grabbers, there are sharks. Slackers, the two-tongued double dealing, the money grabbers, and he'll make two look just like three. With his jiggery pokery, make a bad thing look good to me. With his jiggery pokery. Oh, oh, oh. Well, I was out of work angry, money for a meal. I went to a doctor to try to be healed. He said I had a temperature. He tried to cool me down. He said my case was common, but no cure could be found. Well, he examined me and made a diagnosis. Prescribed sedatives in heavy doses. Said he'd have to get used to unemployment disease. It's like a slave getting used to being down on his knees. And it's farewell, welfare. Farewell, welfare. Farewell, welfare, so long. Farewell, welfare. Because the disease I've got might open my eyes, but it's nothing that they can't tranquilise. You won't find a cure, but he'll make sure he keeps you hooked on his drugs, so he'll come back for more. He said he felt my pulse, he said he felt my purse. He gave me lots of pills and drugs, he only made me worse. He gave me stuff to make me sleepy, then he handed me a bill. Prevention is better than the cure, and it's farewell, welfare. Farewell, welfare. Farewell, welfare, so long. Farewell, welfare. Farewell. So much medicine for my health. I was sick a long time after I got well. Feel pain, they just make you forget it. They won't feel your sickness, they just make you anesthetic. You buy meat, you just get bones. A farmer buys land, all he gets is stones. You buy eggs, all you get are shells. You see a doctor for your health, and all you get are bills. He sold me so much medicine for my health. He won't want to cure me, he want to cure my late wealth. Because then he treated me with laxatives. Because when he asked me for my money, my arms went stiff because he's a shark. It's like a two-tongued double dealer, a money grabber, he's a shark. It's like a two-tongued money dealer, a money grabber, he's a make two look just like three. With his jiggery pokery, make a bad thing look good to me. With his jiggery pokery. Oh, oh, oh. Oh, oh, oh. Yay! I hope you could hear that. Well, that's that. Hello, right, I'm here, and yes, he did give me the creeps a little bit, I have to say. I will put the link up. I was too late for fucking Vic. He had to go to bed because he's got work in the morning. Early doors. I've got a later start, so I can stay up, and plus I slept as well. So, I'm not going to do the full reaction tonight because obviously I want Vic to be here for some of it. But, I mean, as we saw with the other one that I did, it took me about an hour to do 5 minutes. So I don't think I need to worry too much on that score. I've also got... Where have I put that thing? What a creepy thing to say. What a creepy thing to say. Cry laughing at Idiot TV. Yeah, I've got a thing. Where is it? Well, where is the thing? It's down here somewhere. There it is. So, every time he says mentally ill, we have to take a drink. Have you got your bottles? I hope you have. I've got my smokes. I've got my White Claw. I've got also a cup of water. So I'm not intending on getting too drunk. But yeah, so let's get started. Let's get Moira McLeod off. Oh, ooh, how very fitting. Right. So it was on the Ricardos. Doesn't this thumbnail look reminiscent of someone else's art style, I thought? Very interesting. Very interesting. It's this one, right? Now, do you not think this is interesting as well, that he's trying to drag people over with his gameplay? I mean, when was the last time he did a gameplay stream? Just pure gameplay on it. You know what I mean? It's like, what? 3 months ago. Just an interesting thing there. Right, okay. Let me go on so I can see the chat. I'm a bit dry in the mouth. Oh, Careless Whisper. Is that you singing Careless Whisper, Albert? Oh, I hope so. I've not seen. I was practicing that and a cat came back. A cat came back that had disappeared. I was telling Butters about it yesterday. And so, will it let me on? It won't let me on. How do I get on here? It won't let me on my phone. Sorry, excuse me a second. But yeah, the cat disappeared the night when Buttocks and me were on the privet when Dean was there that night, and that cat ran away and I never saw it again. And that was how long ago it was. It came back the other day, and tonight it was waiting for me when I woke up, which is the first time that's happened. So I got him in the house again. Then they started fighting. Yeah. I need to go on somehow on a... Why can't I go on through here? Oh, there we are. Here I am. Right. I can see what's going on. Oh, you're going back to sleep, Bob? Is it like in the morning for you? Yeah, I do that sometimes. That's what I did last night. Yep. Okay, so you can see what's going on. Can you hear it? No, because I've turned the volume off. Okay. So whereabouts was it? Was it here?
I called my friend, and he said he want to go. I don't think...
Whereabouts is it? Does anyone know? Within reason. Does anyone know within reason? Oh, no, where's my thing? I need to get my thing up. There we are. Right. Are we ready? Have you got your drinks charged? Do we know the times? Oh, it's going to click off every time. Is it going to click off every time I go? Right, I need to set it going.
Yes.
Where does he start it?
Stay over there. I do not watch you where he does that.
All right, so he's yakking on there. Where does he start with it? I don't have enough bottles now. I've only got 3 White Claws.
These guys. I don't say this guy, this retard's name.
Oh God, does he not? Does he not say anyone's name?
You guys have to understand. If it's someone's alt account, you can let me know any way you can.
Oh my God. It's like a telephone, isn't it? Anywhere you can.
Live streaming, you can come on a stream, prove it that
I'm just shaking my head.
some brain dead idiot, who goes around attacking people and obsessing with
Oh shit.
people sick.
It's fucking hell. Right. So I'm going to just get another tab open here, I think, for you, my friend. Because let's just compare, shall we? Let's just compare and just go on one of your channels. Just one. Just one. This is the person who, no, brain dead losers who obsess over one person, blah, blah, blah. Which one are we going on? Let's go on this one, right? So we'll go on this one. Let's just... First fucking video that comes up is an obsessive picture. Then there's two on me, right? There's him pushing me into the road. The brain dead idiot. Look at that picture. That's what he's caught in. That's, talk about projection. Talk about fucking projection, right? So there's my first rebuttal here. I know that's it. No, I don't. But the thing is, Bob, is I never do this. I have never done this before. And I think sometimes it's for sort of like punctuation purposes. Sometimes I just need to just put it into a bit of context for the future, for someone who might not know anything. This is a guy who does this, right? And that was 4 months ago. I think this is when he started his channel. Oh no, it keeps on going. 6 months. So this is how long this has been going on for, right? This is how long. These are the videos. This is just one of the channels, right? This is just one of them. Okay? He starts here a year ago. Obsessing over Lima, right? The obsession, the levels of obsession are ridiculous. So I know I'm over harping it and things like that, but I just wanted to put it into some context before we begin this journey, where this guy's coming from. I'm not going to play any of them, obviously. Some of these as well were private, so we don't even get to see them. In later times, after I told him he had to come to challenge me in a fucking panel and talk about his problem or shut up, he then went and made 2, I think it was, private streams that only people with the link and who were allowed to come were allowed in. So I just wanted to put that in. Oh no, I'm opening it and he hasn't even said mentally ill yet. Right, okay. All right. Let's see.
Guys, you can have as many of the accounts. I don't care.
Where are we starting from? Dean, where did you start from when you came? And does anyone want to come in as well, by the way? No one? No one, okay. Right, so, where did you start? Well, let's just start.
Spam me the chat here with a channel that they never.
I started at 1:30.
No, a newer channel. I'm sorry, gotta go.
So when he had that war with you guys, that was after he got his channel taken down. So he wanted to take it out on someone. Is that what it was? Because that's interesting. I want to know how he gets into these adversarial situations, because he would have, if he hadn't got a better offer with the Herbies, he would have been creeping up your asses by now as well. So there's that. So, I mean, have they made up yet? Because, I mean, I'm taking bets on those guys are going to be made up by tomorrow. Or yeah, well, there aren't any high notes in that one, I don't think. I've been practicing another song which goes all over the place. It's fucking ridiculous. But I want to do that as a duet with Lewis. So I've waited on that one. Well, yeah, I mean... But that's not answering my question though, Bob. I want to know how he blamed, how he got that in his head. That's the psychology of it. So, like, because this is like a switching thing, isn't it? So it's like he flips, he blames, he does it in smaller and bigger amounts. It's hard to explain. So it's like, at this point, he's bringing out the big guns for a reason. You know what I mean? It's like, why at this point? What was the thing that did it? It wasn't evil not banning Doshin. you know, anyone who believes it's that is crazy, because that's been the case all the way through. So what actually has changed? I'm interested in at what point the person becomes less useful than the other person, and you know, and then it goes off into another thread of like when that person comes on the scene, how that is, and how that, I don't know, evolves into a situation from the person first turning up, and how that first reaction goes with Evo as well, on whoever it happens to be, whatever narc you're focusing on. But yeah, with those two, there's been a whole thing, like, you know, from when they first started and they didn't like each other and stuff. So it's all about how useful they are. I also want to put it in my analogy with save states, because they respawn from their save states. That's like how they play their games, and this is how they're playing life, and they just upgrade it onto another, like into another level, into another save state. And it's at which point that save state doesn't become valid anymore. So Dorshin at this moment is not valid as a save state for Ricardo, and it's looking at what plays into that. Now, is it because it's like a political football, and it's like Evil wants to use that power piece instead of Ricardo, or, you know, that's the sort of stuff I think about with this stuff, because just because they happen to be an example, and I happen to know what the truth is with these guys, so it makes it easier for me. So I just want to sort of analyze that, really. So I'll not get much of that from this. I'm just going to laugh at it, but that's my plan going forward with this particular situation, is to try and feed back to when it started and have a look at it, like Poirot style, who started it, how it's really started, and what sort of pressures influenced them. Oh, Volp. I do declare. Yes, it was. It was a great stream. Right, let's go then.
You guys have to understand.
Oh, once I've set it going, I can't touch it because the ticker will come off.
Once, if someone's out account, you can let me know any way you can. You know.
I'm poised and ready to go.
When I'm live streaming, you can come on the stream, prove it that you're not some brain dead idiot, you know, who goes around attacking people and obsessing with other people sick, you know.
So we've done that. I've done that.
Welcome back. You can hang back with me. All right. What should they do in here? Did they get no?
Done that bit. Obsessed with other people. Okay. Oh. I don't know the timestamp. I should have thought about this, shouldn't I? He always plays this dragon game.
In a jail cell there. His house is his jail cell. Because he has nobody. You know what he gets is
starts with the obsession here, right?
You see, I made his days. I cannot.
Right, so here we are with a classic case, just like Hayat. See the similarity with this with Hayat, because it's like how he has to rewrite it. I destroyed him, I did it. And then it's like, it's this person's fault, it's that person's fault. So they're very, very similar. Just watch.
That's why I don't tell his name, I don't say anything, because that's what he's looking for. That just made his day. Somebody acknowledge him. He feels alive.
Speaking literally.
He's not just a ghost in a shell.
That is pure projection from him. Pure projection. That's how he feels. This is the only way he can get his feelings out. It must be. Because he's so fucking...
Yeah, just made his day.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I cannot give him any attention, because if I give him attention, you see, I'm not lying, guys. That's true. I want to...
Do you know what I mean?
The only reason why I keep bringing this on, because I want people to understand why. There's a reason.
Oh, really? Oh, really? You just want people to understand.
Be the only person that I care.
You just want people to understand. And that's why you made them all private. Only invited your new fucking ding-dings.
Now he said, I don't know what is he doing. If he has
he doesn't know, does he? He has no idea. No idea.
I don't care. It's not my business. But I'm done. Oh yeah. Get the hell out of here. I cannot even say his name. He heard you guys saying his name over there. There he is. Culture cost other people.
Where's the chat on this bad boy?
Their fucking streams.
I won't be able to see Q, yeah. Bad Rob.
Loser, guys. He has to make, look, guys, he has to make alt accounts of me so people will give value to him. You understand? So people will.
Who the fuck is this? And who the fuck does he know? Who does he know? Which ruse does he know?
I do not.
Who the fuck is that?
I do not watch any one of those losers.
Talk about taking a liberty. What a fucking idiot. Do you know what I mean? Even I wasn't that fucking stupid. To just walk in, see this fucking idiot kicking off like he is, with the backstory that he's got and all that evidence right there in front of your face. If he can say to your face, even me in my most fucking deluded state with evil, if he'd have had a fucking back catalogue which was obsessed over one person and just said, oh, this person's just totally just like, I don't really do anything about them, I'm just obsessed with that, or just whatever, just some like fucking bullshit excuse, and you don't look at that background, and then you come in and start challenging people who you don't even know on the back of something that someone said who you don't even really know, and you don't know any of the story. You just know what this histrionic, crazy person, which you can understand why people watch him because he's histrionic and crazy, and they're like, well, hey, but you're going to go and side with him, and you're going to go and get involved with him. Oh, it was Ron. I thought it was him. No, he has said it. Whoever this person is. That's funny. Because that's a dink-dink as well, isn't it? That's like a proper dink-dink, that guy. Oh, my God. I'm interested in those people. Oh, why is recording this important? Right, because I've already explained it. So, this has been going on a very long time. And so he's the vector between quite a few different groups and a lot of different plays of a lot of different narcs. And he is the sort of thing that brings them all together under one big pile of shit. See, because he's the lowest common denominator, basically. From him, you can calibrate better the rest of it because he is the lowest point of this place. So that's why he's important, because he's the benchmark. Yeah, proper dink-dinks, yes. A proper dink-dink is, well, you know who the dink-dinks are. They're the guys from Spaceballs. And, yeah, they just turn up and they just do the merchandising and they just follow in a big line and do whatever is needed by Yogurt. And Yogurt just tells them to do it and they'll do it like an Oompa Loompa. So that's kind of what's happened is when Evil and Ricardo, to make their little play carry on, because it had just carried on and on and on for so long, the only option left to them was to bastardize every single person in the community apart from absolute yes men, real yes men. They wouldn't have anybody who thought for themselves at all. So now we've got this right here, you know. The only person you're missing here is we're not seeing the handler, Q, yeah, because he's blocked me so he can handle more effectively. If in case that is you, that could even be you, but we don't know. We don't know who you. I imagine he will turn up. So yeah, Ricardo's is important. This is a punctuation point in the story. Now they will make up probably by tomorrow. It depends on how useful they are. It depends on the weather. That's why I'm the Scorned FM weather girl, because I'm trying to work out what the weather is with it all. That's basically it. You know, these guys are empty inside. They're just being blown around by whatever wind happens to be blowing. They're normally doing the blowing, but with each other, and with this being a symbiotic, dependent sort of relationship with these guys, especially regarding YouTube, also emotionally away from YouTube a little bit, but mainly so focused around the YouTubes, which makes it more abstract as well. So it's really hard to pinpoint all the threads, all the categories, all the variables and things. Do you know what I mean? That's even such a crude word to call it. It's like just all the connections. It's like a big brain. It's like a big brain full of neurons. So I've started on the fucking White Claw. We haven't even played any of it yet, but that's why he's important. Yeah, the merchandise. Yeah, well, I'm talking more about the concept of them basically merchandising themselves, really. Not real merchandise, because that would be real. That would be putting your name on something. That would be doing something. No. They wouldn't do that. They're too flighty for that. They just play their games. That's all they do. They play their games. They save state onto people like Dorshin, like me. They've save stated onto many, many people. And sometimes they go back to those save states, and sometimes those save states are defunct and they need to find a new one. They move on to a whole new biome, a whole new level, and they just can't use that save state anymore. With Dorshin, he's interested because they keep bringing him with them. And I don't think his journey is over with them at all. They make out that, you know, the more they fucking kick off about this, the more he's trying to scapegoat Dorshin. In some way, I think he's testing Dorshin with this. He's testing him to see. He wants to he knows that the more he, in the past at least, the more he talks about him, the more likely he's likely to turn up. So there's that. And he does work on those simplistic levels. And then on top of that, he's got, he wants to almost test Dorshin to be like, oh, see, I've done all this. I've kind of fucked you off. So if I just do this bit and blast you a little bit, then if you do come back, then it's like all is forgiven. Do you know what I mean? For Dorshin to come back now under these circumstances, or just after these circumstances, all will be forgiven. And in far as Ricardo would be concerned, and maybe, and this is just my pop psychology, but maybe there's a part of him that's trying to get that karma off him as well. You know what I mean? Possibly because I don't think he's thought this far ahead. Possibly because of the eyes on him. I don't think so. I think he's too defiant and he's kicking off at the moment. He doesn't even think about that stuff. But subconsciously, there's a part of him that wants to act like he's dealt with it, but not actually deal with it. So if he makes it worse, directs it at Dorshin, who's the closest person to him, who's always been really accepting of him as well, who's always accepted this before and always took this shit up the arse from him. That's what I think this is with Dorshin. That's why I think he's landed on him. I think maybe I'm just using too many words to say it's just the person closest to him, the safest person, and he's fucking going on Dorshin. But there's absolutely no reason to blame Dorshin. I want to make that clear. Dorshin is stayed the same the whole way through. There is no difference, and I will just for the posterity, I know all you guys know this, but in the past, in the not too distant past, and consistently since he's even been on the scene, has fucking Ricardo not just relied on Dorshin on all his downtails. So he will push it, he'll go with a certain group, he'll try something. I mean, when he was with Dean and stuff, it was a different matter, but after Dean, when he met Dorshin through me, he then saw that Dorshin needed emotional help and went with that. And it was a beautiful symbiosis. I made a video about it, but it was, you know, in the end, Ricardo is fucking crazy making, and you can hear it with his voice. He can't even talk to people without trying to hypnotize them. If he's not doing the listen and all that shit, he's also in training with the name usage, and also he does his I've lost another. There's another one that he does, but maybe because I'm so fucking brainwashed and hypnotized. See, I can't even get it out of my head. I can't actually think about what the last one is, but there is another one. And his voice just changed around. Just listen to the tone of his voice. Anyone who has any doubt as to this guy, like that Zexern person, because you think most people are just watching it for the fucking ridiculousness of it and knowing what they're looking at. To some level, they might want to know a bit of the backstory. They might want to know a bit more about other opinions of people who do know the situation. So that's where we come in. But like people like Zexern are actually buying it. Are they buying it? Do you know what I mean? He's in there. He's trying to fucking support him. He's banning people, say no rules. He could be taking the piss. I've not seen him like, you know what I mean? So it's who knows who that is. I'll translate what she's saying into English. All right, Curia. I mean, it's lame. That's lame. I am actually English. See, that's the thing. It's you who can't understand what I'm saying. But anyway, this is just for posterity. Most people already know this. But yeah, this guy relied upon Doshin to the point where he spent his whole New Year's Eve crying to Doshin about his shit, and then deleted that stream straight away, and had a very similar voice to the voice that he uses in parts of this stream. And I'm talking at least a year of complete reliance on Doshin for all his support, all of his fucking content, when he wasn't having anything to do with Evil because Evil was a little bit too challenging for him, but he needed some way in, and Q, you provided that way in for him, didn't you? Didn't you, Shin Medema? You provided that way in because you had got a beanie on it about me. So that's the only way that Ricardo could get in, but he wouldn't touch Evil with a barge pole before then because he was far too threatened by him, and he could see Evil for what he was, a fucking mile off, because he's one as well. So that's why they never really connected. And so, well, after they've been made aware of each other, now whether or not they've been made aware of each other before I was aware, I was involved, that's a different matter. But since I was involved, they stayed well away from each other, completely different worlds. Then when I did bring them together, Ricardo and Evil didn't want anything to do with each other for a long time. And then during that time, Ricardo was grooming Doshin, just like Evil had groomed Doshin before. And that's interesting. Just the same cycles, the same very small hunting ground, small group of people to work on, lots of predators. And so probably more predators in this area per square meter than in some areas as well. So, and a certain type of predator. So yeah, I'll shut up for a minute. Can you hear all right?
When he did it on Prime One's channel, I promised myself it's the last time, man. You know, guess what? I lied to myself because I let him do on Evil's channel again.
I let him do it on Evil's channel. That just shows you where he doesn't think about people like people. He didn't even think, never, ever did I see when they were like, oh, I took your friends off you and all that shit. For a start, it was like way after. And it just showed where he was at. He's just like this poor lonely bastard in the window looking through like some fucking Rwandan fucking orphan. Do you know what I mean? At Christmas time in Harrod's fucking window. It's like, that's what he was like. It just shows from what he was saying. I took your friends off you. By that point, I'd moved on with a whole new fucking situation and doing other shit. And it was just so inappropriate to say that, but he had to. And that stood out. And so that plays into that, what he's just said there again, where he's just saying like, I let him do that. It's like he sees them all as objects. You've seen his house. You've seen how much of a hoarder he is. You've seen how he collects people, and he just wants his online action figures, like Red Bull said. He just wants them to just be yes men. That's why he's in there. That's why the only people who are in his fucking chat are people who are doing the fucking call and response, because it's just like a fucking toy. You pull the string and it just fucking says it. That is Ron. Ron is just that. I mean, you could literally replace Ron in the universe with one of those toys. That's all he ever does. Prove me wrong, fucking Ron. Prove me wrong. You know, I mean, do something other than something that can be replaced by a toy that you can pull a string on, and I will fucking admit that then. But you don't. That's all you ever do. That is literally all you ever do. That last one that I did a fucking review on, we were like, guys, that's all it was. Breaking news. You know what I mean? That's all you've got is like a little tagline. You're just a little toy. So please show me any proof that you're not, and I would appreciate that. Thank you.
So, okay, hang with the Prime, hang with Evil, stay away.
Ooh. Is he talking to you, Doshin, on that one? I wonder. Is he talking to you? Prime 1 and Evil are all right. They're separate. Interesting. So he's felt the pressure of some sort of side being drawn that he didn't feel he matched up to somehow. So he had to pull rank. He had to, in the past, that's what he's done. He'll make them make the choice and then start his nefarious shit and start talking shit. And it'll be like, oh, he's an alcoholic. It'll be substance abuse to start with. And then it'll be probably because he's a big stoner. I think it's just projection with him. So it'll be substance, because I've noticed with him it's like mental health, substance abuse, the children. He said he was abused as a child. He didn't say what sort of abuse it was. So it's kind of coming together with a bit of a picture, isn't it, to be fair? Like, he's obsessed. I mean, who else? I mean, I know I'm bringing it up now because it's in the context of talking about him, but who else does that? Who else talks? Until we met Ricardo, no one was going on and on and on about the kids like that. As soon as Ricardo turned up, what did we get? An argument about who's ringing the school up, which was just bullshit. And we were just like, what the fuck? He really did bring that in when you actually look at it. So I won't be surprised. I'm just going to go put the heating on a sec and get my steamed up stuff. And again, if people want to challenge me on any of these assumptions and things that I'm saying, do you know what I mean? I'm not saying that's the actual, be all and end all, but I'm just giving my thoughts. It's just my thoughts as I see this. And so if, there's any proof or any sort of just anecdotes of me being a bit biased with my sort of examples here, do you know what I mean? I'm just picking on that. And it's not always just Ricardo. What about this person and this person? Just let me know, because I want to just actually analyse it, as much as I can for fun in a leisure environment. I'm not fucking, yes, I'm going to write these bits and pieces in. I might not include certain aspects. Depends what's going to be entertaining when it actually comes out and what people are going to want. Yeah, I don't think he did. No, I don't think he did. They're starting to turn on each other. You think? These people always, there's hoovering as well, there's narcissistic hoovering. So we will see a time in the near future where they will make up. Guaranteed. Absolutely guaranteed. It's guaranteed. I mean, Cuya, from the looks of things at Dean's, because Dean was on there going, oh, I'll put the chat up, but you'll not be able to see Ron. And I'm like, well, I could put my chat up later and you can't see Cuya, but you can see Ron. So, what was I on about? I can't remember now. Yeah, I don't think. Right, okay, so that's just the what. I'm looking at the why, you know what I mean? The what is, it's them two fucking shouting shit about each other. That's funny, but I'm more interested in the tone of voice that they use, how much pressure is on them when they're doing it. What is, what's making them do it? Hey up, Albert! Hey up! I'm just skinning up. If you want to come on the panel, let me know. Because I can't strictly see the screen. So if anyone comes up, I thought I copied it up. That's it. Oh, ages away, mate. We haven't even started collating the shit yet. We haven't even done that. So, I mean, I'm just waiting for it to finish. You know what I mean? And at the time, I'm going to start collating information. But I also need to analyse what it's going to be interesting for. Do you know what I mean? So I need to, before I start really looking at huge amounts of information, it will take a while. It's going to take a while to do, but it will get done. And I think we'll do a few streams. Probably on a Thursday night is a good one to do it. We'll do a Thursday night, and I'll just put a stream on, and it's just about going through and getting the timestamps, and then I'll get what I can out of those. So anyway, let's let him play some more while I skin up. Is it there? Which one? This one. Oh yeah, so he's drawing a line in the sand between. So this is my point as well. Sorry, because he's a flood. This guy only knows how to navigate this adversary. This is the main component of his life. This is where he doesn't feel comfortable, but where he knows how to live. He's like one of these spiky balls here. It's all he knows. He's horrible, right? So the places where he lives are hard, bony, ropey, hard places like this. This is what his brain's like. He probably doesn't even have this. This is the weed that he smokes. But the rest of it, this is his life. This is probably why he plays this fucking game. Because it looks a bit like him. It's all leathery and ropey, do you know what I mean? Little demon. Spiky fucking spikes everywhere. Broken down fucking old, ramshackle old fucking walls that are all ropey and horrible looking. Do you know what I mean? So it's like, yeah, that's the sort of colour, like a nicotine brown sort of horrible. Yeah, it's just that vibe I get from him. It's just this clawing, very much like the worm out of June. Do you know what I mean? Just this clawing thing. Cloying, but a bit more actually sweet and saccharine and trying to fucking wheedle its way round, a bit more like an eel. Anyway, that's the vibe I get from him. And so he is often in this state, in my opinion, and he's probably been in it quite a few times. And so he only knows how to basically get in and out of this with the least amount of shit, and that's what he's spent his time doing to protect himself, and because he knows he's always going to be here. He knows he's always going to get this treatment, he's always going to get ditched, and he knew this from the start. He knew that this was the deal, but they've cashed it in now, and I wonder why. And also, this is why I need to do a bit of Poirot on it, because did he start it like as a preemptive strike, knowing that they were going to cash it in? Because it's pretty obvious when they're going to cash it in. They make it very fucking clear that that's what they're going to do. What does Shin Redeemer have to say? Well, Curia, I mean, pot calling kettle black on that one, isn't it, mate? Yes, this is me changing myself. You know, this is part of it. This has gone on a year. I don't come on here. I'm not looking at everyone's fucking streams 24/7. I'm not keeping tabs on people 24/7, am I? You know what I mean? All right, cheers, Albert. Let's see if I can find. Where are you then? Backstage? You? Ah, there you are. Hello. Hello.
Hey, buy my book, buy my Patreon, fuck my wife. Woo, doggy! I officially I like to propose to you that I write. I'm going to be writing a portion of the book about the Humpty Durfies, and all rights reserved. I'm going to waive my writing rights and charge you a flat fee. CPE.
What's the fee?
Doggy. I say we do it different. I say we take a different approach. Forget the money talk. We'll talk about that later. Let me tell you what I can do for you, CPE.
Uh-oh. Go on, Brett.
So I'm presenting this. We approach Lulu Publishing, the person that published Cyrus Martin's books, his Amico Joy, his sore butt.
Yes.
And I liken Ricardo Cody. Listen to an old G.I. Joe toy. I call it the Maggot. If you want to look up the Maggot, it perfectly symbolizes what Ricardo Cody is. It is a toy that has two parts, like Ricardo Cody's head. It's got a big rod coming out the top, like his roommate looking to approach his anus. It's the Maggot, kind of like the faggot. There you go.
Where is he?
Yeah, there's the driver of the Maggot. It looks like Ricardo Cody.
Oh yeah. Well, do you know as well with the brown hard? Yeah.
You said brown you said brown and drab and nicotine stained walls. That's Ricardo Cody. And you should see the device he drives. That's the driver. Look at the device.
Let's have a look at the bus. What's the bus? Is this it?
The one there at the bottom.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. I had that as a kid.
It's like Priscilla, Queen of the Desert, isn't it?
Yeah, it's great. It separates, and then that top part with the big penis-looking thing, that could stand on its own.
Wow, what a mighty erection on the maggot there. Wow.
Yeah.
What a fucking... And they called it the maggot as well, that's what I just realised.
Yeah.
What's going on there?
Oh, please. It's an acronym. It's an acronym. I could probably come up with an acronym for Ricardo Cody.
Oh, true.
For, you know.
True indeed. Yes, the maggot.
Look at that box art. Beautiful. Absolutely beautiful.
Yeah. I probably saw one of those in Woolworths as well. That's exactly the ones that they look like.
In your part of the world, it was called Action Force, and Big Ben was like their leader. And I have some Action Force comics. It's good.
I don't even remember that Action Force. We had
Action
G.I.
Force.
Joe there. I saw G.I. Joe, but not Action Force.
Yeah, because they turned it into G.I. Joe later in the line, but in the core, in '82 to like I don't know when exactly, till some part before the '90s, it was called Action Force. Then they changed it to G.I. Joe, and it was ridiculous.
It was like the 80s, 87, 88 sort of time, I'd imagine.
So I have breaking news.
Oh, go on.
Into the 50 Deep newsroom. Cyrus Martin streams. Cyrus Martin has anxiety about our favorite streamer, Dean TV. He has anxiety about using StreamYard. He bores his audience to death. Cyrus Martin, here's the headline. Cyrus Martin is a bore. 20 minutes talking about StreamYard. He doesn't know how it runs. He's talking to a guy who looks very odd. I want to pick on the guy, but I'm not going to. He looks like a normal guy, but he's a fucking e-beggar. This guy's paying $800 a year for StreamYard.
What?
For what? For what? It's called rotating accounts. This guy looks like he has his scruples, but he's like this. He's like Ricardo Cody. I only have 20 hours left of StreamYard. Yes, no. He doesn't know how to make alt accounts.
Maybe he's just got a shit ton of money.
Exactly. Oh, please. This guy likes to brag about how he's got every console under the sun.
Oh, really? Oh. What's the thing with
Your
Simon?
best friend, the Don, was in there.
Really? Was he?
Yeah.
Don Kingsley?
The Don is giving, and Cyrus. I take Cyrus to task for this. Okay, he's doing the stream because he's inspired by my good friend on Twitter, PJ. I like PJ, and he wants to do what Papa Pete does. He sees Papa Pete doing bowling night within television. Now they want to copy that because Cyrus Martin doesn't have an original bone in his fucking head. This guy's drunk off his ass. Cyrus Martin's drunk as like. Okay, anybody looks at it, he's not drunk. This guy knows how to hide that he's drunk. I actually feel kind of bad for the guy.
I hope you're here, Cyrus. I hope he's watching because have you seen this? I'll cover you at the moment, but I'll move it. We have got the mentally ill drinking game, which is so that every time Ricardo says it, we get to take a drink. Have you got a drink? So Cyrus would enjoy that.
I don't. I have water. But I was thinking about a drinking game for the I Love You stream. Every time Cyrus Martin says I'm sorry,
yeah.
take a shot.
Oh yeah, yes. We'll get some
Your
shots.
liver will explode.
Yeah, next week we'll do that. We'll have drinking games with him. That's a great idea. See if Cyrus will copy that. See how far you can
exactly.
spread your ideas, isn't it? How far they can Chinese whisper it across to each other.
So who was in the chat tonight? You had Ben Spastic, who I don't know who that is. I had a fleeting glimpse of Dasha Nubin is Ben Spastic.
No,
the legs, but it's not because Dasha Nubin's scared to leave his house. But the beach he was laying at looks like Dashan's beach.
No, he lives in a place called Millicent. It's showed us this fucking town.
He's an annoying fuck, Ben Spastic.
You think?
Yeah, I do think. See, I don't like being called a hobo cunt. Okay, that's what he calls me in the comment section. Like I'm not cool with you like that. I have a very thin skin, and I don't like being called that kind of shit. I want you to kiss my ass, Ben Spastic.
Ben Suspect.
I hearted his comic anyways. I don't care. What do I care? Even though I want to ban him.
Well, he's interesting. He's always playing. Sometimes I'm a little bit suspect as to what game he is playing. I always thought he was playing his own game, and I do still think he's playing his own game.
Let's call it what it is. He's a fucking herpy derpy asswipe. He's over there in Ricardo's channel kissing his fucking ass. So fuck him, and he can fucking die. All right, that's the reality. Ben Spastic. Thank you, Ricardo Cody. Go suck a dick and die, fucking Ben Spastic. You fuck. I don't give a fuck who you are. You come on a panel, you don't fucking talk, you show your fucking legs off, you like Ricardo Cody. I don't give a fuck. I'm not on this platform to troll. I'm not on this platform to create a mystery about myself, whether I'm your friend or not. Go fuck off, Ben Spastic. You fucking cocksucker fuck. That's how I fucking really feel about it. But hey, he's in the end of the world. It's today's tomorrow. He can go fuck off. He can go suck Ricardo Cody's cock as far as I'm concerned. Come up here in the panel and say something. You fucking vomit. Because no one wants to look at your fucking legs.
He's not even in the chat. But the thing is, that I found interesting for what you just said there, is that you said you're not here to troll. But like most people are, and he is a proper troll. He reminds me of Hooligan a lot. Him and Hooligan have got similar energy about him, I think.
I see Hooligan in the chat too. I didn't see you come in there. Like, who gives a fuck? But Hooligan makes me laugh. Make me laugh! Ben Spastic doesn't. I'm not laughing. You understand?
Yeah, well, I think he's good. It's like everyone's got a part to play. Everyone's got their position into sort of, even if they don't come up with like the jokes themselves, it kind of all goes together to make one big thing. Do you know what I mean? Like, I don't know.
Yeah, I hear you, and I'm gonna do my part and call it like I see it, because I'm not gonna sit here and make exceptions for some fucking alt account. I don't see his face. It's like the thing that happened with Sierra Era. I made a video about Sierra Era. This guy wants me to believe him that he's some sort of millionaire and he's a world traveler and he's well accomplished. When I don't see his fucking face, he's a bullshit artist. He's on Kiwi Farms. He's Adolf Hitler. He's a fucking puke, and I'm not here to buy into his shit. You understand?
I wonder which other accounts Ben Spastic is. You know? Probably quite a few.
CP, I would love to sit here and chop it up with you all night. I got to get some sleep though.
All right. So, okay.
If you have if I can contribute in any way, I'm gonna go back to the chat and
okay. Yeah.
I don't know, try not to be nuts, because I need a fucking recharge my batteries.
Okay. Well, enjoy this. I'm gonna listen to a bit of Ricardo. I'm not doing too much of it, because Vic's going to come and do some reaction to it. But you know me, it takes me ages to get anywhere, so I'll just do the first bit. And you can fall asleep
awesome.
with the sound of Ricardo's voice. All right, thank you. Listen.
Okay, so this is what I got from Ricardo Cody. I was listening to him earlier a little bit. His microphone was out for a long period of time.
How was it?
And yeah, his mic was out. This is the last stream he did just now. Microphone was out. He had a bunch of fucking troll accounts in his fucking chat. Ron Damone, the fucking Carla Costa. I'm a woman, but I'm a man. Showed up and kissing his ass. He's spineless, fucking douchebag. Yeah. He gives money to slut him. And
pull the string off.
Yep. All right. 2-2. 50 fucking deep.
All right. See you later. Yeah, so that was my point as well. I agree with what Albert's saying. They're going to shut themselves off. They think they've got this parade of dink-dinks. It's all well and good. But obviously, as you can see from Curia being here always, he always has to have tabs on people because it's boring, isn't it? I've been there. We've all been there. We've all been into the other part of YouTube, and it's boring. Now, over time, you will get to learn to love some of your new pets. But if you start trying to play them off against each other, well, you risk fucking it up again. That's the only enjoyment you're going to get, and you kind of need a little bit of some investment, some intelligence, because some people are just so easy. It's not going to be entertaining for you, in my opinion. I mean, it might be, but like, I just look at what have you got to work with here? What have you got to work with, really? You know what I mean? Real talk, real life dog. You've got Retro Doc, mate. Do you know what I mean? He's the biggest cog you've got. And like the rest of the time, it's like, what, fucking Ron, fucking, you're moaning about Doshin. You know, you were reliant on Doshin, you were reliant on Hayat. Now you can't even do that. You've got your Amico shit, but like, it's old, innit? And it's getting older. And you're not bringing any new people to it. Yes, you are bringing a few dink-dinks, I suppose. Again, it's not much, though, because, again, they're fair weather. Because they were so easy to get. Because they're easy to get, and so another person will come and get them as well, because they're easy to get. You know what I mean? I mean, Evil is good at creating a loyalty and getting people to feel sorry for him and creating a narrative that people buy into. So you've got that. So I'll be interested to see at some level how that plays out. But I am interested in the Dink Dinks because, like I said, my first interest in this sort of stuff years and years ago, before I even met you guys, was I was interested in pay-to-play games and who does that? Who does that? Who creates that completely pays for a completely contrived and fake environment to play out this thing where you're the best person in the world and pay all that money for it? And I was really interested in the psychology behind all that. Now that's all changed because it's in every single game you play now, so it's different. And I suppose that is indicative of the whole of society going that way. You know what I mean? So it is all really interesting. And this is another side of that, isn't it? It's not pay to play, but it is in a way because you just, I mean, look at Ricardo. He's found this new game now. I mean, I'm sure tomorrow we'll see that he's got 50 more subscribers because he'll have been in there working hard because that's his distraction now. He'll be like, oh, yeah, but pull that number up, pull that number up. And that's interesting about Ricardo as well. Does he just absorb the people he's around because he's only got Hayat now? Is he going to act like Hayat? I don't know. That's probably a bit of a reach. I don't know. Yeah, I mean, they're very good at kissing up to these people, but once they've got them, they're still coming over here. Do you know what I mean? It's like they have kicked out literally everyone because everyone's so terrible and they're the perfect ones, right? So if that's the case, then literally everyone who's interesting is going to be out of there. You've literally just got Ron and Paste and possibly Captain N on a few alts. People who are just straight up yes men all the way through. There's nothing else there. You've got rid of Doshin now. And he was kind of a yes man in a way, but he did his own shit. You've got rid of every single one of them. Who have you got left? You've got Ben Spastic left, and that's it. And there's like conflict between him and Albert. You know what I mean? Who else? Let me know. Let me know, Shim. Let me know. Flying monkeys, dink dink. No, they're different. They're different. The flying monkeys are different. Do you know what? The big cogs are probably flying monkeys, I'd say. But they're a very specific type of flying monkey. I should do a periodic table of all this. I should do I'm going to do a diagram. I was watching this bird, right? She is fucking amazing on YouTube, right? She's talking about consumer issues. Because my thing is, this is a really small storm in a teacup, but it's like finding a universe in a grain of sand. So it's like once you've accepted that that's what that is, you can pull apart so much of it. And then I've got to look at how I describe that and how I explain that. And that's teaching me, mistakenly, I think I'm thinking this, to be a better communicator in general and not be such a fucking, I don't know, shit communicator because I talk too much. You know what I mean? So like, I can learn how to do that and explain properly, get my point across properly. So that's what I want to get from it. And there was a woman on the YouTubes I've been watching, and she's talking about. I was watching a video that came up, and it was about her story about her landlords in her house, and she described it. And she had this whiteboard, and she explained it all with this pen and this whiteboard, and I'm going to do that. And I'll explain the dink dinks, I'll explain it all. But like, yeah, the dink dinks are very specifically the new lot because they just came in, and it's like that whole clip is the thing where it's like, when did we hit Disneyland? That's what it was. All of a sudden, we all hit Disneyland. The dink dinks is when Paste came in, and instead of keeping the two streams, as in his two communities, separate, because he's in everything, and in the sub for subs, and he knew Captain N, when he brought Captain N with him, whether he did it intentionally or whether he did it, whether it was accidental and he just came along because he's just this horrible, horrible affliction when you get him. But either way, he's such a pompous prick that he couldn't deal with it properly, and he's a narc, or he had narc tendencies, so he couldn't come and just talk to us about it. So he just dealt with it in a way that was just the most cloying, creepy, weird-ass shit, and I called him out on it, and that was the start. So that is the start of the dink dinks. Dink dinks they go all the way back to Paste. And Pace likes to think, he's like, oh, it's this big conspiracy theory. She thinks I'm running it all because he's heard someone else say that. And that's how, I mean, that guy is not the sharpest tool in the fucking box. Now, he is in certain ways. When it comes to this stuff, my God, I'm surprised that someone who can like operate computers like way better than I can and do all this stuff way better than I can, but is just like so incompetent when it comes to social stuff and anything like that. And that's why he comes across as such a fucking kiss ass. I really do think it's just like massive incompetency when it comes to social stuff. And then they end up being like really sort of folded in on top of themselves because they're like really bitter because it's failed so many times. And that's kind of Pace. And then they find someone who can like unravel that tight-knit ball of like, because someone's accepting them for being who they are, someone's kissing their ass for them being that really fucking fucked up kiss ass. Like they've only ever learned from a book how to do it or something, or they've only ever learned through YouTube and forums and the ziggurat and the likes and all that. So their whole framework is kissing ass. Now when it comes to Ron, it's similar, but his is real world. His is real world shit. He does that in the real world. He's learned how to do things and learn how to be useful and learn how to maybe go under the radar or be on top of the radar maybe and be like in charge of certain situations. But he's learned how to assume a position, don't we know? And this is how we see it. And that's how I see it because it's rooted. It's way more rooted with Ron. He actually feels the things he feels. When he gets angry about something, he lets himself get angry. He lets himself obsess. He lets himself, be friends with that person and then hate them and then be friends with them again. He really feels that. I do feel that about Ron. That's why I've got more time for him. He's just a fucking weirdo. But Paste is a fucking ding-ding, right? And he is all about the fucking likes, the algorithm. And even though he isn't, it's still in his head. That's how he works. Not even that specific algorithm. We're not talking Saggy Melons. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about, like, it's just numbers to him. Everything's just numbers. So it's like, it's just how much benefit he could get from that situation. But he doesn't know how to execute it in a social way. So I pulled him out about that. Then, obviously, Curious saw the perfect storm that was being built by all these things coming together. Evil also saw how he can manipulate someone like Paste. Quite easily, or not even manipulate, but just use him, just happily use him. And that's what, and he was the start, you see. Everyone had always resisted the dink dinks and the small dick energy coming in from the rest of the internet into this place because it will dilute it and we'll end up with more of the same shit. We'll end up with just more of the same, just a few boring ass fucking channels. Just saying happy birthday to each other and what you've cooked for dinner, and it's fair enough, like to have chats about the games and shit, but all the rest of it will get deleted away because they won't have anyone talking back to them. They won't have anyone addressing their complaints. It's all cheap shit. Droopy ball sack. Yeah, exactly. Oh, really? Oh, really? Well, then, that's interesting, isn't it? Mm-hmm. I've got nothing against. Well, maybe I would have something against this person, but I don't have anything against these people because they don't know what they're getting into. But at the same time, they don't know what they're getting into, and it's the troll pit. And so, like, you know, what are you going to do? You should watch before you fucking leap. And the thing is, it's greed, isn't it? It's greed. They're just like, oh, this is a whole new sector that I can tap into. And it's like, well, this is what you're going to get, you fucking beggar. You're going to tap into the wrong fucking place because we haven't let the dink dinks in yet. And you are one of them. And all these people, you think you're riding in on a fucking tide of dink dinks, or they even think that this is dink dink friendly. A dink dink. This is the thing that I said to Ricardo and Evil about Queen Monica, and to Queen Monica herself as well. I was like, they're not informing people what they're getting into. It's like, who was I talking to? Rabbit Dude yesterday about how you won't sometimes, and I'm sure everybody's got it, where don't cross the streams. You know what I mean? There'll be certain streams or certain, for me, there's like a certain community that know about this community, some of them, but I've told them to stay away. And I've told them never to ever comment. And all the videos I've done for those guys are private or like unlisted. So it's just like, there's no way. It's not like I'm embarrassed like fucking Q and all that stuff. It is what it is. You know what it is. But I've told them, like, because I'm not like fucking Evil and Ricardo. Why would you? Why would you bring people in just to like prove a point? You know, if you've got any decency, obviously you can see why they've done it. But like, into this place with no warning and no protection really, and just using it to start a fucking war around, I think that's pretty fucking low, to be honest, for someone who doesn't really know what they're getting into. And so for that OWO person, it's like, whatever. You know, they people who come into it at this level and go in with it and try and flock around it like the fucking vultures that they are showing themselves to be the vultures that they are. Because anyone else who comes into something like this, you'd be like, oh, this is a bit of drama in it, this is funny, but you wouldn't side with it. Why would you side with it? Because that was the stream that you landed onto. You'd just be in it, wouldn't you? Just be looking around it and doing shit. So even if it is just a play and people are acting and it's just an alt and they're in the whole place and they're just getting like, I don't know, they fancy a wrench or something, they fancy getting in with this guy and they're sort of playing him, that's fair enough. But this character that you're playing is going to still get the response. But I still understand that could be the case. But there could be real people doing this. And now this person is showing their real account, which has got a £25 fucking Patreon on it. Well, they've got a lot to lose, haven't they? Have they actually got any Patreons? Is it just someone who's delusional, like Hayat? Or is it like someone who has actually got 25 quid Patreons? In which case, what the hell are they doing aligning with Ricardo? And in that case, you're just like, do they know? Have they been bought? Have they been hypnotized? And I can believe it. Have they been hypnotized by that so much? In which case, I am interested in that. See what I mean? And that's why I was blathering on about the pay-to-play stuff earlier, because that's my interest. Is like that group of people. Who is attracted to that? Who will sign up for that? That's where I'm interested. That's where my interest really lies with all of this. Cyrus did a stream you were not invited. Was he? Was he? Oh, yes. Oh, yes. Yes, Anti-Herby Derby, 100%. So anything, I was thinking this, who was I talking to the other day? I think it was Vic. And I was like, he potentially will go into the thousands with this, because we know you can. It just takes just fucking going and doing it. Like, we know you can, because what's his name? Pace could tell us. I've often said to Pace to come and fucking talk to me about this shit. It would be so interesting to hear what he's actually, if he could fucking just step away from this, you know, the hiding away and the bullshit that they all fucking buy into. And it's like a self-perpetuating thing. As soon as you go in there, if you've got any of that going on, it'll just get built up more and more. And it really is the antidote. I didn't realise, and honestly, I was so wrong about Albert and Dean and all that shit. I really was. It is the fucking antidote to that shit. And it's like, even if people do show like little fucking bits of that and stuff like that, it's just within the mixing pot of humanity, and everyone just deals with it and calls each other out. Over there, it's so controlled. It's like, even if you just had a tiny bit of that going on, and you go in there, and it's like, it's all encouraged so much. That environment is just so, it's so twisted. It really is. I mean, so that person really probably just believe. I mean, I can't see it myself from that, because I've seen it now. You know what I mean? So I can't. It's the same for all you guys. Like, you can't see it, can you? You can't see it from their position and just be like, how can you fucking fall for that? I mean, did we ever fall for him, really? Any of us? I know I never really fell for Ricardo. I just knew he was very useful at the time, and he needed a friend. And I was doing a two thing at once. I was trying to sort of get shit going with the war, quote unquote, to quote a quote, and then I was also trying to build bridges, you know, and make no man's lands and things like that. 59 about what? I haven't started yet. I'm like a third of the way down a White Claw. I'm just rabbiting on. Just talking a load of shit. Well. Well, indeed. Well, I wonder what that story is there then. Interesting. Like, pontificate on that one, you'd think, well, someone who's probably not that bothered about YouTube anymore, maybe they've had a bad experience in the past. Something's made them go away for a bit. Maybe they identify with Ricardo, because remember, he has got a wealth of information that all he has to do is change the names on and work his magic. And he has got the story of, like, all the times he's attacked us, all the times he's done all this shit. He can just turn it on him and tell this fucking sob story to these people, which is, again, interesting to see him do that. And like, when I do actually watch it, and Albert, really, you were right about that when you said there's a reason why I haven't done it yet, and it's because I can't be asked to listen to it. But it is full of that shit. It's just absolutely full of that shit. There's so much to look at. I'm on the White Claws, yes. I'm on the raspberry White Claws. Ricardo disowned, yeah, well, I know, but he disowned Ron, he disowned me. It's why, innit? It's not the what, it's the why with him. And the timing. Hey, Brett Wise. Yeah, come and add some actual relevance.
Well, I mean, I just from the audience. Okay, from the audience, I'm sensing that you know the reality of it. You know the reality that $58 a month, asking for money. You do realize, my guy, that the guy has, like, basically no views on his channel. His channel is almost as barren as fucking Hyatt America. Really? He's delusional. I mean, we're talking about the Uyumusha fucking guy. He's delusional. He thinks that this fucking retardo Cody's gonna help him. That's why he's there. What he didn't bargain for, and my whole angle is, what he didn't bargain for is to have videos made about him, to have his fucking VR company exposed, and he can act like he doesn't care about it all day. Doesn't fucking matter.
What an idiot. What a fucking idiot. That's it. That's what happens when you buy into the fucking lies. Let that be a cautionary tale to all dink-dinks. You'd no such thing as a fucking free lunch if this guy's going to come and deliver. Because that's the thing as well. If you've got a thing going on, and if you are that sort of troll, and you're eating people nightly, and then you just invite this person to just come in and eat this stuff that you've just made, just completely with no, just given to them, I would question that.
Oh, please, exactly.
Yeah, I would fucking question that. Like, you can't just expect to just get in
it's
there.
Like, okay, so it's like Cyrus Martin tonight. He's doing a live stream. He doesn't write test stream. He sells a false right of goods, whatever. A false title to a video. It says retro gaming with friends. Yet there's no fucking link. So the first person that shows up is some desperate fuck. He wants Cyrus Martin in his ass and in his comment section. He wants him on his channel. He wants something going on his channel. Last line. All right. So what's last line's first word out of his fucking shithole? Oh, panel tonight? So he wants to come up and be next to Cyrus. Maybe it'll rub off on his channel somehow. He's been trying for such a long time. He's been writing reviews of his book, this and that. He wants some sort of payoff. He wants his moment to shine. This is another failed Patreon user. So
really? Okay.
But Cyrus doesn't give a fuck because Cyrus is Suge Knight. He's sitting up there. He's gonna go through the motions.
Cyrus is another one of them, mate. He's another one like this. I've learned to realize this. He's another one. He is using just like Evil's used Ricardo, just like Ricardo's used Dawson, and now he's using this own.
100%.
So Cyrus they've always got a consort, haven't they? They've always got this person who doesn't really know what's going on, but he's being used every single fucking time.
I mean, it's just look at talk about Cyrus Martin. Just look at the way he carries himself. Everybody's his friend. Him and John are good friends from way back. I think they've met up like once or twice in real life. So hey, maybe. I don't think they've ever met before. Cyrus has gone to Max's house, good friends. So there's some sort of credence to that.
Yeah.
But then he says Max is my good friend. But then he says, Evil's my good friend. Evil, you're my good friend. He throws around the word friend and love around a lot to people on the fucking internet who will never fucking take a bullet for you, never do time for you.
I was going to do, obviously, my response to the Evil and, Evil and, what's his name? Cyrus stream. But also, I was trying to be neutral and all that stuff still, and I still will be, but I'll tell you something, right? I did see he was streaming. Maybe this is the stream you're talking about, and on that stream he said, I just clicked it for a second, which is what I do, and then I'll just click off it because I'm just like, oh fucking hell, I can't be arsed, right? But in that moment I heard Cyrus go, I always take the high road. And I was like, right, I've got your fucking pal. Do you know what I mean? I just knew straight away then. Who says that?
My problem with that stream in particular is that he wasted 23 minutes of people's life. They tune in to this fucking program. It says retro gaming with friends. It's him and some other dick face looking at the website for StreamYard, trying to figure out how it will benefit them. You could do that in your own fucking time. If you're gonna do a StreamYard, you don't write test stream. Don't waste people's fucking time.
That's so he can have Evil on, isn't it? That's what Evil and Curious told him to do it.
And Evil's crying. Like this fucking alt account said in the chat, Evil's crying about it because Evil looks at it like tit for tat. I should be on that stream explaining StreamYard, talking to you, having another drunk rant. But instead he has KC the Intellivision fuckface on there with his stupid fucking beard, his dumb fucking TurboGrafx shirt, his fucking e-begging channel. And he's explaining StreamYard to this fucking oaf, this fucking Eeyore.
Was Evil actually crying about it? About that?
I'm just saying, I know he is. I mean, come on, you know Evil. You know he's crying about that. You know he's butthurt about that. I would be butthurt about that. If I open up my channel to you and I have, hey, you have an open door policy on my channel. I'll stop streaming games because you want to come up drunk off your ass from some other fucking stream and cry, fine. But then when you're doing some casual stream, you don't want to have me there too? It goes both ways. You said you love me, Evil. I know you're watching, you pussy.
Oh, Evil.
You said you love me, yet you don't want to fucking work out StreamYard with me. You want to do it with this fuckface who's this new shining star in the fucking dork community, the droopy ballsack community.
What does that need to... I don't know what he's supposed to apologise for, but I find that interesting because it's all like part of a scheme, isn't it? So it's like if he just wanted an apology off Evil, then they would have sorted that out in the DMs.
Who wants apology from Evil? Who's writing that? Who's saying that?
Apparently, Ricardo. That's what.
Ricardo. The more Ricardo demands it, the less he's going to get it, in my opinion. And I think they're both pussy because neither one of them. Ricardo at least talks about it a little bit on his fucking streaming. but he doesn't put Evil Cream's burial in the fucking title. He doesn't do a StreamYard saying inviting Evil up to air it out. He doesn't go through the
because
proper motions
that's
as you should in this community. Instead, he plays some stupid. Instead, he plays a game while he's having an emotional breakdown. He's somehow managing to play this fucking game, and he cries about it.
He won't.
Evil cries about it on his channel.
He has to keep it safe. That's why it makes it interesting, because they're both really similar now, and they've both really aligned with each other because they have to hypnotize each other to feel safe. So they've both really fucking become like similar in a lot of ways.
And Dan has a good point. What does he have to apologize for? The guy's drunk off his ass. Apparently, the bone of contention is that Evil Creams didn't whack somebody that he felt like somebody should be whacked on his channel. It's your fucking channel. You do the fucking shooting.
No, exactly. That's as far as I got.
Don't expect these fucking lames to back you up when they won't even fucking do anything for you. They won't address anybody airing you out online. They won't do anything. All they want to talk about is, oh, my back. That's it.
Well, you can do this shit, can't I? Like this. You know what I mean? From his privet. This is what
is that a Gamers Revolt shirt like Trash AT wears? On Elmo?
Oh. It's one of Larry's puppets, isn't it?
Yeah, but it says Gamers Revolt on his shirt. That's what Trash AT wears.
I can't see it. On this, no, it says Scorned FM. It says Scorned FM, old lies all the time.
To me, it looks like Gamers Revolt. It looks like Charlie McMuffins with Cyrus with fucking Trash AT.
Oh no, I thought you meant the puppet on Curious. Yeah, well, it's all MacGuffins.
Why do you hit the link, you fucking alt account homo? Nice fucking avatar, you fucking dork.
Interesting to see what he's got to say, actually. To see what.
Well, it's real interesting.
Well, it would be for me because I've seen you've been handling Ricardo, so that's interesting to me, Q, because obviously I saw that as you cashed him in. You had to cash him in at that point. Now, you obviously don't want to cash him in. You still want to keep him around and keep him useful, because that's the thing with Q, is he wants everybody to have got his thumbprint on them so that he can, like, reel them back in and get them to do shit for him. It's like Hooligan, right? He's really creative and comes up with some really cool ideas, and he's got it set up so one of the real creative people in the scene, he doesn't have to make any shit, but every single time Hooligan makes something, does Tommy get a fucking cut of that every single fucking time.
Q-Fago, if you break down his body of work, his fucking garbage songs, they're all stolen riff ideas. He created some sort of hoax about MJR that wasn't true. It's just a fucking troll. He's a fucking lame fuck. He feels like he trolled and lied about MJR. MJR responded because he wasn't scared of these dorks. And he feels like that's a win. It's not a win. You stole the fucking beach house shit that we made prominent. You wouldn't even know about MJR if it wasn't for us, the fucking anti-e-begging community, you fucking sore back pussy. You sat there and listened to Cyrus Martin spin some tale about how the Amico is not a scam, and your whole fucking identity is that the Amico is a scam. You're a pussy twat.
Really? Is that what happened?
I'm gonna go bye-bye. Of course that's what happened. Cyrus Martin is saying that he plugged it in, he played it, no lag, not a scam. And Ouya Fago sat there and said, "Oh, Cyrus, fuck me up the ass harder."
Well. Exactly. Well, I don't know if it's that crazy, but what's crazy is Tommy and Cyrus being on a panel, and Tommy letting Cyrus say that it's not. That's just so meta. I love that. Now that is Alpha and Omega right there. That really is. Say thank you, you fucker. Right, so let's have the thing on, shall we? Because I've just been blah blah blahing it for ages. Let's offer some fucking listening to what he's actually got to say. Oh, God.
I want to go by myself. You know, I like to go with someone else because I'm not doing for business. You know, I'm just going to have fun.
Mm-hmm.
If my friend goes with me, I'm going.
That's interesting in itself. I know it's got nothing to do with this, but shows me. Yeah, Q is not on here. But I did see that you were
ruining my friendship with him. Then later on, this fucking retard, he ruined my friendship with Prime One as well. Yeah, and he ruined my friendship with Evil as well. You see it,
Look
Ron?
at that. So the blame, it's interesting to me because of when he first did his little plays, and before he was even successful, he started crowing, and these are the sort of the bases, if you look at them as like bases that he came from, and it was stuff like that, like that person ruined my friendship, like he was saying, oh, I ruined your friendship with your friends, you know what I mean, I did this, and that's how he works. He's giving his whole strategy away right now.
Done. Yep. Done. I cannot blame him on Evil, you know, because we all knew that, you know. We all knew that. We spoke so many times about it, you know. Evil let him, Evil felt on his track.
What does that mean? Does anyone know what that means? Does anyone know what that means? So we all know that about Evil. Yeah, so Evil always had a thing about Doshin, but you always had Doshin on your channel all the time, always. I don't understand what you said. I don't understand that.
If you go tomorrow, you should record some. If I find anything, I'm gonna record.
Interesting.
I got to record because I'm not buying. You know, I might just record for record if that is video games. And I'm not deleted user. When I go to the flea market, like it is when it's cold, I find the stuff. You know why?
Who was saying it was anti-Hebidova, wasn't it, saying that he'll be an e-bagger? Yeah, he loves this shit. He loves it. That's what I mean about the small dink dink energy. He'd made his stuff. He'd never got plugged into the small dink dink lands. You know what I mean? His stuff was just that little bit too ropey, that little bit too entrenched in the troll world. He was a bit too reliant on the drama to generate attention to his channel for him to be plugged into this. But his energy goes with this. He can talk shit to idiots for hours, and he will repeat the same shit over and over again, and they want that, and also they're going to have a high turnover as well. So that's why, like over here, it was a core group of people, high level, long-term story arcs and arguments and beefs and actual debates and like, evidence-based and all the rest of it. People hark back to something from 2 years ago with a fucking screenshot and go, now that I can prove this to you. And it was that sort of shit. So he came into that, started making his channel and thinking that he would, you know, that's where we all met him. We saw him over at fucking... that is why I didn't have that much. I saw him around, completely neutral, but there were certain people that you just never clicked on. You never looked at, I mean, not you, Ral, but you probably clicked on everyone. But like I didn't, and it was the ones who were on the make. They just felt like they were on the make. They just had that vibe coming off them that they were just looking for they were just looking for subscribers. But anyway, he was there forever and ever. And one of the crew, so that's what that was. But I think he really thought that was his ticket, and it was his ticket, wasn't it, to his like 300 sub channel that he had before. It was his ticket to that. So because he's so small-minded in so many ways, and he's got such small horizons, and he won't do anything without his friend, like he was saying, he won't do it without his friend being there. It's like he never branched out into anything else. But this has given him the opportunity, and he is well more suited to this than the other side of stuff. And that's why he's always coming to conflict, because he's always in this state of transition between adversity and like a whole new world where nobody knows who you are. Basically, he's either like living a lie, or he's you know, the truth comes back, and he makes it so that is where he sets himself up against everybody. For some reason, he needs to be special, and he wants everyone to be against him. So it's the only way he can get everybody to notice him is for everyone to be against him, and he needs everyone to notice him for some reason. So yeah, that's kind of where I'm at with this. Yes. Look at what Ron's saying there. What is Ron? I never know what Ron's game is. I just do it's like he cares, but we know he's running a what narrative is he running there? Like, what has Dawshin ever really done to Ron? And obviously Ron's always said the squishy legs and all that stuff, but he's got it in for Dawshin, right? Okay, so he's putting his own personal axe to grind, which is very small-minded and quite childish. He wants Dawshin out. For what reason? For what reason? He ruined that friendship. What did you do to ruin the friendship? Dawshin, what is he saying you did to ruin the friendship? He said you ruined the friendship with Evil, and you ruined the friendship with someone else. I can't remember who now. So, who was he saying? No straight answer from Dawshin. Okay. Oh, shit. There we are. We were there, weren't we? We were like there.
You understand? He feels that he's not just a ghost in a shell. Or he does that. I do not watch any one of those losers. He's wasting his time here. And I'm not making his day anymore.
Yeah, well, that's your problem, Dawshin. Live in the fucking now. Do you know what I mean? It's good to have a goal. It's good to have a good horizon to work towards, but it needs to be, like, for me anyway, in this sort of stuff. I mean, we've got different approaches to it and different ideas of it, but, like, it's leisure, isn't it? It's for your leisure. And for me, it's like exploration, and I think it is for you as well. But it's like, you've got your very straightforward thing. You want me and you to write something, or you wanted Evil and him. You know, you've always had the same play. You know, you did the same thing with Evil. It didn't work. You're doing it on me. You've just got, I don't know. It's really predetermined, and you're kind of setting yourself up to fail, because if you don't do this by a certain time, or you don't do that, I don't know, it's giving you an opportunity cost for other things. Just be a bit more open-minded, I think, to just going with the flow. I mean, you are quite going with the flow. It's just that you've always got these plans and ideas and things you want to get done, and you get fucking narky if you don't get them. It's weird. I don't know what you mean. Dawshin is like Paulie Gaultier. I don't even know what that is. You mean Jean-Paul? I don't even know what that is. You mean the fashion designer Gaultier? When he told Johnny Sack about Ralph's joke, I don't know that. I don't think. Oh, fucking hell. How many times have we seen this dragon falling down? I'm shit at this, aren't I? Oh, Sopranos. Yeah, you guys were talking about it the other day, weren't you? Yeah, my dad watched that, but I never watched it. I was out and about during that time, but it looked really good. It did. And I did download it all to watch it, but I never did.
Yeah, he ruined it. Exactly, Ron. Exactly, Ron. I'm not blaming
so
anybody.
Ron started this.
No, Ron. Hey, Ron. No, it's too cold. They're not deleted user. I called my friend. Okay. They're not deleted user. I called my friend today to see if he want to go to the flea market with me tomorrow. Buy the resellers. So
Ron's causing trouble with Ricardo there then, because Ricardo was quiet and Ron started him off with that. So that's good to know the context of that. Ron's got a vested interest in getting you out, away from Ricardo, Dawshin. Why is that then? That's the thing. It's not the what. It's the why and the how for me, and the when.
Don't I go because it's too cold. The only reason why I go because I live like 20 minutes from the flea market. You know, so
go to your fucking
we
flea
spent
market.
the whole day together, Ron.
Oh, we're into some. Fucking yes.
Be behind their addictions or their flaws.
Nope, more.
By the resellers. Don't I go?
Oh, we're back. Oh, fuck
the
it. We're
only
listening
reason
to
why I
stuff
go
about
because
resellers.
I live like 20
Hey
minutes
up, Fatal
from the flea market.
Vision. Come on the panel if you want.
I go for a coffee.
If you put no pressure.
I stop by a Cumberland Farm gas station. I fill it up my tank, you know, because there the gas is cheaper than around my house. And I fill it up my tank. I get some gas station disgusting hot dog or piece of pizza. and that disgusting coffee. And then I walk to the flea market, eating junk food and having a coffee, saying hello to everybody. Yeah, it can be solved, Ron.
So boring.
People start to recognize that they make mistakes, you know.
Solved by top. This is what he used to say to me, right?
Apologize after
he used to say this shit to me, but he didn't get the memo from Cuya. I don't think at that point that fucking even Evil had got the memo from Cuya at that point.
Their addictions or their flaws. We all have flaws.
Oh, nice.
We all have addictions. We all make mistakes. You know?
Yeah, this.
People have to own too.
This. Him saying, he thinks he can let this slide, and weirdly, and this is what I've learned, is people do let this shit slide. I wouldn't myself, but then would I notice it if I wasn't looking for it? I don't know, but he lets this shit slide. He's like, oh, people need to own up to their flaws. People need to own up to their shit. Like, just the way he's doing it, he's putting himself in this position of, and I know you guys know this, but I need to like really pinpoint it for the psychological profiling of this fucker. Do you know what I mean? He is just straight in, and he uses his little fucking helpful idiots to give him that sort of feedback of like, isn't it? Oh, listen, Doshin. And that's what I said to you, Doshin, in the privet that time in the chat. It's like he needs that respawn. He needs that safe state. He constantly respawns back off that person constantly, and that person isn't there. He's fucked. That's why he's grooming this new person to do it, because he knows that if it comes to it and there's a choice that needs to be made by Ron, then Ron will make it, and it won't include Ricardo, and you know that, and everybody knows that. Although Ron will always be going over to Ricardo's, but Ricardo will never know whether to trust him or not, because let's be right, Ron and me were the first ones to go over there, and Ron had probably had more interactions with Ricardo prior to me going over there in the first place. And when he first saw Ron, what was his reaction? It was full on, push him away, didn't want anything to do with him. And later down the line, I put that down to him seeing me and Ron coming as a bit of a twosome, knowing it was a ticket to Evil. He wasn't that bothered about Evil at that time. He didn't see that much anything that good to come from it. I think it was one of those where he kind of knew what would happen, and he's done this a few times before, and he knows it ends up badly for him. So he was kind of like leaving that one out. A bit like when you see someone who you know you could hit it off with across a room, and you just know, and you may be tired from your last relationship, so you don't really want to do it again. I think that's how he was with Evil. And so then, but they then went for it. They had to, because with Cuya encouraged them both to do that. Both of these people were not going overtly down this path as bad as they are. Evil, for his part, whether he was just trying to mimic or something like that, but he was being overtly virtuous. He was trying, I mean, on my flip-flop video that I put up on my community post the other day, I've been singing that for days, that song. I want to do a joke, is it? Oh, it's not come up. I did show that, but it didn't come up. A joke, is it? Oh, that's your new plan, is it? Go right ahead, and you go and you just show that they're jokes. You just make your presentation, mate. You go for it. A joke. Yes, compare that £90 mole joke to what you encourage these two drunk fucking losers to do on the internet to this person just for your entertainment. And that's what happened. Do you know what I mean? Ricardo is one of these people. He was in stasis. You can tell when Dean got to him, he was in stasis. So he'd already been around this block many times. He's, you know, but the way that he's done it, he has done this many times in real life and online, I reckon. You know, and he'll do it again. He'll continue and he'll carry on going. But I mean, who's to say that he's not going to just go down the sub for sub route and go down like the what's his name? Fucking Captain N route. And that will be good for QE, you see. This is how they propagate these people. This is how they do it. You know what I mean? He infects Ricardo with him. So he doesn't have to do anything now. And then Ricardo will go off into here and he will occasionally touch base with these guys. He will make sure of it. Do you know what I mean? QE will be that's why he's over there handling him now. He's handling him ready for the future. Now, depending on what Ricardo chooses to do, if Ricardo fucks off for a bit, he's going to be going and hanging around with all these people. And QE wants that, you see. He wants that exposure and he wants that attention. There is absolutely no friendship involved in this at all. Absolutely no love at all. Let's be absolutely clear about this. And that is your problem. Because at the end of the day, it's empty, isn't it? And that's what I was saying to Albert about Cyrus, what I realised. Empty, so empty. When I heard him say that about the high road, and he wasn't being ironic, it was creepy, and I was just like, yeah, that's just like evil, but in a completely different way. Just trying to get away with this shit because you think you can get away with it, and it's like, well, you will get away with it because you actually did the thing that I wanted you to do without, you know, because in the end, Cyrus, it wasn't like anything that you want. Again, like I was saying about Ricardo being like this most special person in the world that everybody's against him. That's what they've accused me of when I've been very careful because it's part of what I'm doing to analyze my own reaction to it. And this is what they don't realize because they've got their heads so far up their own arses that they can't fucking see it. I can't fucking remember. Anyway, you know what I mean.
People have to, you know, not try to hide it like, oh man, you know, oh, I'm gonna apologize to you. Let's talk in the private. Why? So nobody hears?
What did he do? He will not say, I will guarantee it. This came from Ricardo, and that's what I mean. So QE used Ricardo to bring down the standards because Evil would not have sunk to this level because he came from Rick. He came from Rick's. He came from Darius's. Like, I know that Ricardo did as well, but Ricardo was just sniffing around for fucking views. Oh yeah, like I was saying, Captain N, he'll go full Captain N. And for QE, that's fantastic because he's just going to have more access to more of these idiots. So that's what he's doing. He's just, the parasite is infecting and sending him off. That's what I thought was happening, and I thought they were just ditching him. But with this level of handling coming from QE to Ricardo recently, and this is why I wanted Vic on board as well, because me and him both know what that is. And I said to Vic, and I was like, he's in the chat a lot, and you know what that means. We all know what that means. Anyone who's been in there knows what that means. And so, like, it makes you think that Evil and QE want to keep Ricardo sweet for some reason. Now, Ricardo is going to use that to his advantage because, like I said in my song, if there's anything you need, he'll pretend he's got it, and then he'll pretend that he can't part with it. That's what they do. And he's a fucking carny, and he works on the flea market, and he sees everybody as objects, and they all do to different dimensions, but each one of them wants a different need to be sorted by each individual object, and that will influence what object they see the person as. That's just my what I've seen from it.
Why?
Oh, are you? All right, sorry, Fatal. Let me. Hello.
Holy Christ, your founder Ricardo stream was playing something other than Jaws.
He always plays this, always when he's threatened. When he's defensive, he will always play this fucking dragon game.
It's his comfort game.
Yeah.
I mean, Firebrand is a great game, but still. it's nice to see something other than Jaws.
And the one with the big nose, he does that when it's a different time. That is when he's in like some sort of collapse, but it's a different sort of collapse to this.
So what is today's collapse about? I've been away.
I don't know. We're trying to get to the bottom of it because from this, I intend to get the thread of this to go back to whichever stream it was, whether it was deleted or otherwise, to find out where that thread leads to.
It was probably deleted.
Yeah, but I did get a clip of some of that, of one of the streams that was deleted. Oh yeah, anything that Evil's done will be deleted by now.
It's really amazing how you have such a group of people who does not care what other people think about them, but they sure are awful quick to delete things that embarrass them.
Oh yeah, it's astounding. I've never come across that. Is exactly what it is. Especially Kuya is like the absolute pinnacle of that.
You'd almost be able to respect that. Hey, I had a fucking bad day, you know?
Yeah, exactly. No, everybody, and that's how they hid for so long. And that's what I was just about to say. Like, even Ricardo, to some extent, had learned to be like to mask this world, you know, and be a bit more. You know, he'd pretend to shout shit at each other. He was still an old grandma being a fucking bitch and his safe state and stuff. But that's why people had ostracized him, and that's why he was off on his own a bit. But people who were more involved and more sociable, they were like, you know, just like us. Everyone was just arguing and shouting off at each other.
So there was an implosion.
Well, now there was a split. There was a massive split.
They're gonna go and make up in about a week, maybe less.
Yeah.
And
I
heard a bit of what you were saying about like why do they and how do they. It's all validation. I mean, at the end of the day, you really kind of have to look at what these people are all about and why they're even here to begin with. I mean, you look at the Hyatts, you look at the Ricardos, you look at all these guys, and they're all people who really wanted to make it big on YouTube, like talking about video games, and they can't quite do it. And this is all that they have. And it's getting to a point now where they've invested so much time into it that to quit now would be almost admitting that they wasted years of their lives.
And especially the Dink Dinks who come in as well. Some of them have been here for a couple of months, and that might be enough for them to be like.
And the sad thing is that it doesn't even have to be that way. I mean, if you're here to do YouTube videos and just do it off of like say a passion because you want to share video games and because you want to just hang out with like hang out with an Albo and just talk RPGs all day long. You can find that. You can have that. And it's all well and good. But these are people who genuinely thought that they were going to like make a shit ton of money doing this sort of thing. And it just never happened. So at the end of the day, they kind of had to just cling to each other because what audience do they have? Is some fucker going to walk in off the street and see this and be like, hey, Firebrand. And all of a sudden, listen, the fucking city and the hobble and the fucking TV.
Well, they're going to be like,
they're going to fucking run for the hills.
I don't think Evil ever thought he was ever going to make any money out of this. But I'm open to have my mind changed on that because I could be completely mistaken on that.
Well, he did almost kill himself when his channel got cut off.
I think he probably made out that, you know what I mean? He made it out like that to make more drama for his channel, to get attention. It's all about attention. I don't think he gives a shit really about the money. I think with him, it's just about attention to make himself feel like he's important.
Well, once again, because what did we try to do in the beginning and it never happened? You kind of just have to look at all these people. I mean, we're talking from it's from Jeff to Jeff. The video game channels that couldn't hack it, and now and now it's literally all we have now is just talking about what other people are doing, and now there's no more video games.
Oh no, but there will be. That's the thing. There will be because This is the start where we all start. We know each other now. Do you know what I mean? Everyone's got to know each other. We've all been through the shit we're going to go through now. We've separated up, and that's what I was thinking. It's like what they've done by doing this is they have definitely put a fucking lens on this whole community, and it's like the pussies, the absolute pussies, could not resist but to show themselves over there.
He was
So
trying
now
to
that's
sound.
it.
He was trying to sound tougher by saying that he almost killed himself. I think that had kind of the opposite effect, personally.
I think he doesn't give a shit whether he looks tough or not. I think he just wants the drama because that will attract people, and he knows enough about YouTube to know that that's all it takes.
Well,
And he doesn't-
there are some people who just don't have anything in their life but fucking drama.
yeah, exactly. That's what it is. That is what
That is such a bored housewife thing to do,
yeah,
though.
exactly. And they were accusing me of being the psycho, and you're like, one, there's no fucking videos. I'm not on a stream, and that was like too much for people's brains. That people still believed it. You know, like and people are still like, oh, you know, you're doing and throwing and all that, like Cyrus. You're like, there are no videos of it. I didn't do that. Do you know what I mean? Like, look. So when you're coming from that basis and they're already doing that and calling me this crazy bitch, whilst they are crying in front of people's faces who should know better, and being crazy bitches and crying. Look, we will hear this with him in a minute. He is literally crying like a crazy bitch about me being a crazy bitch and crying tonight.
Aside from what I
I
complain,
love that shit.
aside from what I complain about what my kid's mom did to me when she left, which is be dishonest and disloyal. I never really talk shit about the woman, and the reason why is because I've seen so many people who are like, that bitch is fucking nasty, she's fucking this, she's a fucking lunatic, and I'm like, yeah, and you fucked her. You fucked a nasty lunatic.
Exactly.
You know, and it's kind of the same thing where you were perfectly fine when you were hanging out with them, but it wasn't until you went off on your own that you suddenly lost your mind and became.
Exactly.
So what does that tell you?
Yeah. And all of a sudden he's remembered that I'm an alcoholic and a cokehead. Do you know what I mean? And what it tells me nothing about those guys because I've already learned, and months ago I'd stepped aside and been like, right, I'm going to learn about these guys and my reaction and my interaction with these people and how that's going to interact with the future, with how I'm going to interact and all that shit. I'm going to learn from that.
There was a really, really good part in Ozzy Osbourne's book where he was talking about when he first met Sharon, and her father was a huge record executive. I think they're the ones that actually signed Black Sabbath. But he was dating Sharon. He went over to the house. He was fucked up. He went into the bathroom. He shit in the toilet. He couldn't find toilet paper, or he was probably fucked up. So he started wiping his ass with the window curtains. And the father walked in and said, "You're a fucking animal." And then just went down the hallway and opened up the door to Sharon's bedroom and said, "You're worse because you're fucking him." And the reason why I bring that up is it's once again, if you're a crazy cokehead, psycho, nasty, terrible mother, if you were all these things, if you were all these things, they didn't have a problem with it. So what does that say to their character?
Well, I'm getting so specific about it because we know he's going to do that. We know they're going to do that. So it does say a lot about their character, but it also, for me, says about the timing of this stuff because you're like, all of a sudden, this has become an issue. Now, we might not have even been friends and he might have even been doing this stuff for a bit, but then it was months later that he would incorporate various things. And at that point, it's giving me the timing of when he and the things he picks to throw at me that are completely unfounded. They will, at that point, that's just a bit of a bonus as to find out the bits of his character that he feels threatened by, that he feels he needs to sort of do a bit of a whitewash on, or, you know, just go around the edges and dance around the edges of. And he's just putting a little bit of investment while he's there, as he's passive, into those subjects. But what it does is it just gives you a little bit of an insight into that person's particular things that they're threatened by. At that point, I've stepped away by that point. Do you know what I mean?
I know what you mean, but I think you're giving it a little too much credit.
It's there to be read, mate. I swear to God, I've got to listen to what you've got to say. It's like a book.
But I think it's just you're giving it a little too much credit because it's like I want to find out exactly when he lost his mind and started thinking this way. It was never there.
Well, that's true. No, it's not so much that. But again, that's why it does sound like that. That's what I mean about not being able to explain it properly. It's
Well, to me, it's kind of like trying to find out exactly what part of the Titanic that got hit by the iceberg.
yeah,
Is,
yeah. I suppose it is that. I suppose it is that though. But because that part of the Titanic that got hit by the iceberg will lead on to another thread and another thread and another thread. Because my fundamental aim is investigating narcissism, especially on online groups. So the story does not end there for me. Do you know what I mean? It's like
Yeah.
it just go on and on. And he's just my case today, and these guys are my case today. And
Fair
they're a
enough.
good case today because they're public and because of my involvement in it. I've been able to see some of their character. I'm not just getting it secondhand through them. Do you know what I mean? I've seen it. So, or at least they're what they put across. So I feel like I'm in a position to actually be able to at least have some understanding of these lies that they're trying to put about. Like all those lot have had any real interactions and really seen the reality of these people are in a position where you can learn a lot about humanity because they are showing every aspect that is negative about a human being. Every fucking monkey, every fucking human has got this in them somewhere. And so it's teaching us about ourselves. It's teaching us about the dark side of humanity, in my opinion. You know,
I guess.
You just use them as a fucking example. I mean, why not use fucking Ricardo as an example? Have you seen a better version of this ever anywhere on the internet?
I don't know. After a while, you've just seen enough of these people where it's just like, you know what? If anything, Green Thumb's got a great suggestion right there. Boardwalk Empire, excellent show.
Oh, well, I'm up for a narc friendly, that's something that I could compare this to, like a soap opera type thing. I've never watched Boardwalk Empire, but a lot of people did say something about it.
It's a really, really good show about prohibition in Atlantic City.
I want something with a bit of a thing on psychology, really, so I can cross-reference it with.
All right, then here you go. I got this was mentioned as well. A couple of them were talking about it in the chat. Albo, especially. Watch The Sopranos. The whole show starts. The whole show starts off with the mob boss sitting down with a psychiatrist, and they're talking about his depression.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, that would be a good one. Would I be able to watch that on stream there?
Probably, like the HBO, most likely.
Ah. Well, maybe
I
we
mean,
should do that.
or I mean, it just raised the fucking pirate flag, I guess. But still, it's definitely one of the best television shows that has ever been made. And once again, like I said, the whole premise, it starts off with something that you enjoy is a mob boss sitting down and discussing his depression with a psychiatrist, and she gets dragged into
Well,
it.
exactly. Well, this is what this is, except it's not a mob boss. It's some fucking absolute ropey old cunt on the internet who's now been backed into a corner, and we've seen the whole story of how he's got into this particular one, this particular tantrum. He'll have another one next week with a different person, but some key points come out in this, which are part of the whole storyline as well. And I will watch something.
What's the story arc that we have going with this current meltdown that he's having with the video?
We don't. My point that I'm bringing to it is that we will probably still not hear a reason. He hasn't got a reason. This is what we had with mine, and what I'm wanting to illustrate here is how quickly he segues and slimes about, and he doesn't ever land on an actual reason. It's just this person's bad. You know what I mean? He's done this. It's not like any specific thing. At this time, this person came over and said this. He went over the fucking line, and now we've got a problem. That will never happen with these guys. It's just like all of a sudden it just gets worse and worse and worse, and all of a sudden this person's always been like that. Like you say, what does it say about you? You were mates with him until now. All of a sudden he's just a fucking piece of shit. Same with Doshin. And it's just like, and again, that's why I'm interested in these people, because who buys that shit and why? You know what I mean? And so, like, that Oru person, like Albert was giving the backstory on that person, and I will get bored of that eventually, but I'm only just getting into that side of it. But that bit I'll get bored of, and I'll be like, I've learned all I'm going to learn from these people too now.
All right, so let's see what he's saying. But what's go? Yeah, see, we got Boardwalk Empire talk in the chat. I love it.
Stringer Bell is a Brit. Is that a singer?
It's a character.
So is it like the US version of Peaky Blinders or something like that?
No. Specifically, what Boardwalk Empire focuses on is just dealing with how Prohibition was, how they skirted it in like Atlantic City specifically.
If I was to watch a series, I would probably do Sopranos, but I would do it after. I'm gonna put Ideal on. That was the one that I told you about, and I do think you'd like it. I told Red Bull about it as well, and I want to do it as like a reaction because it's very British as well. So do it as like Yank reaction to a British series, but it's really cool. I do think, I'm not sure, but I do think each series, and there's a few of them, is based around a different drug. So, like, one will be, like, your mind-altering drugs, and one's more like weed, and one's more about coke and shit. I think, or maybe it's just episodic, but I don't know. They've all got different energies each series. It's very interesting, so I might do that.
Yeah, my knowledge of most British shows ended with Fawlty Towers.
Oh, yeah, it's good. Oh, it's good. Yeah, well, Dean had a right good game today on his stream, but he didn't put it on because it was a point-and-click type affair, and he went down with it. But it had Terry Jones writing and Cheech. What a combination. Do you know what I mean? Terry Jones from the Monty Python. Cheech Marin. I was like, yes, that'd be banging.
Yeah, talk about worlds coming together.
So I'm going to ask Vic if he'll play
it's
that
like
one.
It's like European Vacation with Chevy Chase running into Eric Idle.
Yeah. Except Chevy Chase is smoking a big, massive bifter.
Chevy Chase is a fucking unbelievable asshole.
What, in real life?
Oh, yeah.
Is he? I didn't know that.
Absolutely. One of the more famous Chevy Chase moments was when Bill Murray beat him up in season 2.
Oh, really?
Yeah, season 2 of Saturday Night Live. Chevy Chase came back and Bill Murray fucked him up. Deadly Towers, oh my god.
Oh my god, this is all lore. I don't know nothing about any of this shit. I just know Bill Murray as an actor. We never had it. We never had that Saturday Night Live. Never had it.
The Fletch series was great, but I mean, if you want to look at a good Chevy Chase movie, Funny Farm.
Oh, I think I've seen that, actually.
He plays he's a writer, and him and his wife, they leave New York and they go to a farm, and everything goes to shit.
Like the Burbs, isn't it, a bit?
I don't know. I'd rather prefer the Burbs over Funny Farm, but...
Oh, yeah. Well, I remember the Burbs, but I don't really remember Funny Farm, but I think it's been on when I was a kid and watched it, but I love the Burbs.
The Burbs was an absolute classic.
Yeah, right. Yeah,
Tom Hanks and Bruce Dern. I grew up on that shit. But Deadly Towers is a fucking horrible NES game.
Oh, right, okay.
Originally, it was called Hell's Bells.
I used to use that term quite a bit.
Funny Farm. What was it? So give me some more lamb fries. I've never seen anybody with such a taste for testicles before. What? Sheep balls. Yeah, the trick is you gotta keep them off real high.
That's
grim. He ate like 29 of them, and he broke the town record that stood for 30 years.
In real life?
No, it was a scene in the movie Funny Farm.
Oh, right, did I? Oh. No, mate, that's grim. Grim as you like. Oh, Q is so miserable. So miserable. So, are you ready to listen to this? Right, so we got to a point with him, right?
Yeah, let's hear some more.
Why I go on this tangent is because I can't quite remember, get back to my thread, but it is just like, well, it's just crying by someone who's going to cry now about other people going on about people all the time on the internet. Now, I am talking about this man on the internet right now. Once in a blue moon, once every week, if that. if that, and that's only because there's something on right now, because Scorned FM is on right now. In general, not here. Q, can testify. He had to make his own alt to deal with it. He's done it for Vic, and he's done it for Dorshin as well. You know, they need to involve me when I'm not even here, and I wasn't here for months, and they still involved me. So let's just, with that in mind, let's just listen to what this guy has got to say about other people obsessing over him after being, what, how many streams per night was he doing it? And let's just say, I will never get over him having a private stream with everyone's faces on it from here and not being able to, and no one else, and not being able to deal with anyone who he's actually calling out there. That is so in opposition to the natural order. Like, if you're going to summon demons or whatever, do you know what I mean? You just can't do that. You can't put fucking, just can't do it. Just can't do it, and it will not, and it will come and bite you on the ass, and it is, and he knows it. You know. Anyway, let's listen to him. So I'll stop rabbiting.
You keep making fool of yourself all the time. Why you want to hide from other people? People see when you are talking shit all the time. You know?
Hide from other people. Just key points.
It's the same thing here. Me, you know, it's not fair for me. I don't want to say even though Shanubin's name, because it's not fair for me to talk his things in here. He has no chance to talk back. He cannot talk back. I don't do this, guys. Not fair. The same thing.
See, trying to write this. Who's he writing this for? Who is he doing this for? Is he doing it for the people who are going to watch it in the future? How many views did he get? Yeah, 197 views. So he's doing this for the Dink Dings. That's it. All these people know. Every single one of these people know that that's a fucking lie. Every single one of these. Is that you, Volt? Optimus Prime Rib? Come on, out with it. Is that you? I think he's gone back to bed anyway. Who's he doing it to? Who's he doing it for? We all know the truth, Ricardo. It's all on your fucking chat. It's here. What are you talking about? You've just said you banned all these people, and look at how many streams you've done about them. Were you talking to Carl on that stream? Were you? Were you talking to any of these people? Were you talking to Lewis? Were you? You know what I mean? I know it's the truth, right? But I need to illustrate it for the future. That's all.
Every time when Evil does that, when he goes off on me for no reason, like the other day, only because he was so fucking drunk, we spent the whole day together on.
Right, okay, so the other day, Evil went off on him. So prior to that, something happened with Prime 1. And I think Prime 1 fell out with Ricardo at that point, which then put some pressure on Evil. Now, earlier, I think it was on Dean's, they were talking about, I think it was Rabbit was saying who would be the alright Herbie or something. And I would say out of them, Prime 1, because he will do stuff the other ones don't tell him to do. He will do his own shit. He does like to be guided by them, but he will do shit. Like, he obviously fell out with Ricardo. He wasn't taking the company line on that. That is unusual for a Herbie at this point. He's like, you know, there's not many left like that. Mike still has his own mind, but he spends his time hiding, and he would never set Tommy off in a million years. He spends all his time not setting Tommy off so he can stay close to Evil. And they are the people who have got thoughts in the place. The rest of them just whatever, just like toys that you pull the string on. So I find that interesting.
Evil was with me like for 3.5 hours I playing video games. I was with him on his channel for 3.5 hours playing video games. Then we spent the rest of the day on Retro Talks channel. Dude, I don't think we ever spent that much time together.
Well, there we are. Ooh la la. So this is before Evil went off on him, that happened. That's interesting, isn't it? So why did they spend so much time together before it happened? That is interesting, isn't it? For me, anyway, it's interesting to me for psychology reasons. Because, like, if they're going through a cycle, if say Evil's feeling the split for some reason, feeling the pressure since this Prime 1 thing, then all of a sudden they're spending all this time together. Is it because Ricardo felt the need to reinforce his connection with Evil because he'd fallen out with Prime 1? and he wanted to know how things were and who was up whose arse that day, because someone was up someone's arse, and it wasn't equal. And we won't get the answer from Ricardo because he's just going to play it like he's the victim. Either Ricardo was up his arse because he wanted to prove his point, or Evil was up his arse because he wanted to prove a point to Ricardo. I know, I'm a boring, yeah.
I don't know what else they have in their day, you know?
Yeah, that's true. It's true.
And then we were spending the whole night on Evil's playing the video games over there on his channel, right? And until Toshanubi showed up there, I said, dude, why don't you ban Toshanubi? On the night before,
it was Ricardo up Evil's arse. There's your proof. There it is. And I said we won't find it. No, there it is. He's just telling us the story right there. And then he was trying to groom Evil to get Doshin out, or to do something for him. It might not have even had to be Doshin. He was trying to groom Evil and get him the trophy at the end was to get him to do something for him, and he didn't do it, and so all those hours of effort blew up, and that is when obviously Evil did something then to upset Ricardo and set all this off. So yeah, Ricardo was up Evil's ass, I would say, on that one.
So C Picante was talking smack on the alt account there in that was me.
Oh my god, that was so funny. Do you remember that one, Fatal Vision?
Which time?
That was that stream. It was like one morning I saw you guys were chilling and we were chatting, and there was about 4 Ricardo alt accounts in the chat. I think it was at Dean's.
Man.
Or was it at Buttocks? I can't even remember. No, it was at Dean's probably, because I wasn't talking to Buttocks then.
That was a hissy fit.
Yeah. Well, I mean, like, he... You know, no one would expect him to be so pissed off about that. And he's already made a comment about that. So when was this? 5 days ago. I wonder when that one was that I did. That was probably around the same time. But he'd already made some comment about me talking to these alts, and that's when I was like, oh no. Bearing in mind, this guy made his entire comment, his entire fucking channel was on alts. When we first turned up, it was just Doshin on alts, and he encouraged it. And he had all these like weird... It's not even a story to explain it. It was just like a weird hypnosis. It really was, where it's just like a sleight of hand where it's like, oh, don't look at this, look at this. Yeah, I know I've got 8 people, 8 comments from the same person doing all these different accounts, and I'm encouraging him to do it. But it's just because of this, this, and this. But actually, when you look back on it, he was doing exactly what it looked like he was doing, and getting that guy to beef his channel with these 8 people. And it's like he goes from the top down with it. So you don't quite see it as an explanation and justification for what he's doing. He kind of assumes the position, the environment is made by that position, and then he goes down and puts the foundation in afterwards as he thinks it out or something.
No, why do people fuck with him? The people fuck with him because they want to hear him lose his mind, because it's hilarious.
Yeah, exactly. And he thinks it's because they want to watch Shining Force.
Well, anybody would want to watch Shining Force. It's a fucking great game. But it's just...
Not when he's playing it. And crying. You know what I mean?
No, and he was telling all kinds of smack on you guys too. You don't know them all.
He's such a little weasel, isn't he? He's just like out of a fucking cartoon. He really
Counts
is.
on my channels that talk smack on Evil. You know? Had nothing to do, not my problem. I had no dog in that fight, but guess what? I banned every one of them.
So is that your only function, is to just talk shit and bitch about stuff?
Yeah.
No wonder you hang out there.
Yeah, and get people to ban people for people. And if that doesn't, that's his like. I think. Do you know what? I think that's kind of like he has to push some sort of push it. That's Ricardo's thing that they don't have. Huey's got something similar, but it's not the same. Ricardo has to push it to test the friendship or something. He knows it's not. He knows it's going to go up in flames, and he knows it's going to end up back here every time. So it's like he has to test people.
But realistically, why would you care?
Because there's people like this to varying degrees all over the world. And
of course, but it's like... this is not the one to focus on because
It is. He's a classic. Look at him.
it's just some guy who left his kid behind in Brazil playing video games and screaming at a drunk.
Yeah, but that's the future of like pretty much everyone on the internet. That's the future of the next generation. Kids brought up on fucking tablets, mate. Completely horcruxed, completely downloaded onto these devices. No real life, no real joy, no real music, no real anything. What sort of musical movement have they had? They haven't had a rave scene. They haven't had a punk scene. They haven't had fuck all. They've just got the vocoders, and it's been the same since the 2000s. 24 years of the same vocoder bullshit. No joke. That's the world that we're going to have, sorry.
I doubt that because those two are just an anomaly. Everyone else is having a good time.
I don't know. I think this is a plague. This is the epidemic we need to watch for. And it's contagious. You catch it. You catch this shit off if you're not watching it from a distance. Like the thing is with narc stuff, like someone having been attacked like I was attacked, for instance, in our community, like look at Darius, for instance, as an extreme example, just runs away fucking crying. Obviously, anyone who's worth their salt don't, but a lot of people do. A lot of people do not get to this stage where they just keep going, and they just carry on doing what they're doing, because it fits. But in real life as well, when it comes to narcs and attacks from narcs and people in the workplace doing this exact thing, going as low as Ricardo but behind closed doors, you just don't see it. And it's surprising to me. I don't know if it was to you, but to me, maybe I'm a bit more innocent, but the lows and the levels, the depth of how they'll go when you kind of assume that they're operating on a certain level, even if you think they're a piece of shit. You're like, oh yeah, they've got this level of intelligence and this level of threads going on and shit, but then they'll just sideblind you and just go right fucking low. And you wouldn't have ever expected them to be so fucking cliche, but they get you. And by the time you've realised that they would do something so fucking shady and get away with it so blatantly, they've done it. And that's really interesting, and that's how they get a lot of people. So this is like, he's showing it. And by him like projecting his psychology, I mean, that's interesting as well for me anyway. And I think there's an interest to record that, because knowing that he's doing that, going through what I've gone through, I know he's doing that because I know him. Do you know what I mean? And I know what the reality is. We all do. So like, we all know what he's at. Therefore, to show that to the internet, whether anyone looks at it or not, it's a good archive for anyone to look at their own self, even, their own projection, what's their priorities in life, what do they do with people. This is a very extreme antisocial case of someone who's had terminal online bullshit, obviously disappeared up his own arse as a child, given the amount of toys and shit, and everyone around here, being as it's a retro gaming community, has done that to some degree. So there's an interest there as well. You know what I mean? But he's a really extreme case of it. It's like the one. I'm the mum. I'm the one pointing at him, going, "You don't want to end up like him, do you?" Basically, you know what I mean? That's what it is.
Well, I mean, I get it. You're pissed off at them because you guys used to be friends, and then you had a bad falling out.
I was never friends with him, though. I was never friends with him.
But at the end of the day, Kal-El from Superman just fucking threw the guys into the Phantom Zone and said the hell with it.
Yeah, and I will eventually, and I have, but that's it. I've moved on, and you won't know that because I'm so higgledy-piggledy, and I'm really shit at explaining, so it's all like homogenous, me rabbiting on about bullshit psychology shit. But to me, there's a difference. So, like, at first I was learning about cults and individuals and how they individually operate. And I was learning about individuals in this community and what that says, and about the human condition for my own self and stuff. And then looking at some narcissism theory at the same time. And then I've moved on from that. I got to like some point at the end of last year, and I just knew I'd learned everything I was going to learn from those guys about that, the shockingness of how low they can go. Those sorts of things, the greasiness, the greases that they use, the cogs that they use, the priorities that they use, the needs that are utilised, and all that shit. I'd learned what I was going to learn, and I was doing that. I was walking away. But then there's a whole other level, like there's all the dink-dinks, and that is so much more aligned with what I'm interested in as well when it comes to groups, especially on the internet and cults. I'm really into Scientology. I used to be into Scientology shit, and all that stuff because of cults and groups, and it's just like it's how humans become a more complex being, isn't it, by grouping together. And so the way the internet and the online world, and even just being downloaded onto an old-fashioned computer game back in the day, how that affects that, I just find that really interesting, maybe from a threat perspective, just to see like really what sort of psychological problems we are going to get from this in the future, because we are only a few decades into this, and you know what I mean, and like considering we've got millions and millions of years or whatever before that, it's going to be interesting. And I think Ricardo's a casualty of it, to be honest. I think he was already fucked before, but that's the thing with anything that offers a false hope and a false fantasy, any religion or anything, it goes for people who are lost. It goes for people who've been abused, who are vulnerable, and through no fault of his own, through his own abuse by his own dad that he admitted to. He's ended up like this because he fell into the open arms of the computer, and he really did he just pulled himself off and became one. He's like the fucking lawnmower man, mate. Do you know what I mean? He's a prime example.
I mean, I guess.
You know what I mean? He can prove me wrong as much as he fucking wants. Let's see if he proves me wrong with any of this.
Every one of them. You're not wrong. There is at least 50 alt accounts there banned on my channel. That is like Evil Screams Again, Antichrist to Silence. I did all of them. Every one of those pedophiles alt accounts, the retard brain dead alt account. I banned every one of them. So because I asked the evil to ban Dosha Nuvem, and he was drunk out of his.
Right, before we get into it, let's just remind everybody, up until, when was it, Doshin? When was it that he changed his policy on that? It wasn't long ago. It was possibly this year. It was when Lehman was around. Maybe it was last year. At the end of last year, he changed his policy, and it's got worse and worse until all of a sudden he's doing a declaration of new stipulations here. But prior to this, he was completely operating on alt accounts. He encouraged them. He accepted them. He laughed about it with his fake laugh. And by the way, I kind of believed he was my friend, but not only as much as you could be friends in here. I always knew he was on the make, because as soon as he met me, he wanted to throw me under the bus twice before he actually did it. So there was that, and he tried to throw Ron under the bus. So I didn't fully trust him at all. Nobody did, and that was the thing. It wasn't unusual for me to be like that. It was nobody trusted him. Fucking Evil couldn't stand him. The only time he actually became friends with these guys of any sort and wasn't just fucking around was when he got in on this thing with me. That's it. Like prior to that, he was just some dude who was on the make a bit, and we were using his situation to try and fight Dean, and he was trying to use our situation to try and fight Dean. And yeah, it was him and Doshin, wasn't it? It wasn't us and him. Although it was kind of us and him. He was connected to us, yeah, but it wasn't till I fucked off that he really got involved with those guys.
Yes, and he's gonna go off on me. Hey man, you cannot nothing, you cannot apologize, you don't know how to apologize. I apologize all the time. How many times you heard me apology?
Never.
Apologies, Ron.
Absolutely never. Have you ever heard him apologise?
Mm-hmm.
I've never heard him apologise to nothing. I've heard him do his fake olive branches where he goes, "Oh, I'm sorry I took your friends off you. I'm sorry I lied. And I made all this happen and I did manipulate the situation. Yes, I did lie." That's what he said. And then just moved along, and the next breath, I'm a crazy person, and he's never said anything. He never says anything about anybody. It's like, it's crazy. It's within one sentence he'll do that. fucking mindfuck. And that's what I said to Cyrus, you know, when he was like trying to hedge his bets. And I'm like, it's not the repercussions from these guys, from your lot, Fatal Vision. Do you know what I mean? It's not the repercussions from your lot that Cyrus is fearing at all, because that is real and he knows what to expect. It's this shit. It's this bullshit from Ricardo. You know, you're just going to get all this shit. Nobody needs this. Nobody needs this. Can you spare some change? You know what I mean? Nobody needs it. That's the thing, and you know it, and that's why you have to make your safe space, and you have to bring in more fucking cannon fodder. But I'll be interested to see how it turns out.
I don't care. Oh, because I don't drink it? Because I cannot blame on the alcohol. That's why I apologize.
First base with Ricardo every time.
We all make mistakes. That's why I apologize.
No one is beyond this, is it? He did it with Evil, he did it with me, he did it with Ron, he did it with everybody. Every single time. The first base is the substance misuse. And that's whether or not it's over or otherwise, he will always do it, which means that he's got a problem with it, whatever substance he's on, he's got a problem with it, and he's interpreting the problem. Hey up, D. Reed. No, he did not. Exactly. No, exactly. He was proud of the fact that he made a whole smear campaign up to take her voice away and make her sound crazy. And Evil supports that and has done for fucking months. He knew that about him, and he supported him to do the exact same thing to me. He recruited him on the back of knowing that he had flogged a broken console to this woman. So Evil, you fucker, do you know what I mean? You were trying to sell your fucking channel to these things, and you're trying to be all fucking legit. That is low. That is low as fuck. You're fucking recruited someone who's a known con artist to a fucking single mother. And when you were asking about my fucking, that was another thing when he's like always poring over my fucking AI and shit. Like, they really are obsessed, like, so much. It was days later and I was like, oh my god, they were looking at that. And he was like, that was from months and months ago, that AI art. And that is a depiction of when they opened it on birthday or Christmas morning or whatever, and they found out that fucking console was broken that he'd sold him. That's what that art was when he was asking about it the other day. That's what they all said.
Sometimes all it takes is an apology, you know. But to apologize, you have to be a man. You have to be a man.
Does he believe it? Does he believe this shit? Does he actually believe his own shit? I don't know. Answers in the comments, please. Does Ricardo believe his own shit? I don't know how to do a poll, otherwise I'd do one. How do I do a poll? I want to do a poll. How do I do that? Does anyone know how to do that? Fair Vision, do you know how to do a poll on this? Do I have to do it on the computer?
No.
Well, imagine the poll. Does he believe it? Should I ask, like, does he believe it at this moment in time? Because I think time makes a difference. I don't know. No, mate. He admitted it. He bragged about it. We all know it. And then he backpedaled and said she was crazy and made it. And you all fucking know this. And after months later, and shall we just use the evidence? And that's another reason why it's important. Because he just keeps spiraling more and more lies about more and more people and getting more and more attention for things that he shouldn't be. Just because he's riding the coattails of people like a greasy little piece of shit. So you get him on this lie and you make sure you point out all the points and all the times when he does it. Then every single time he tries this lie, it will be obvious and you can just show it because he does it fucking colour by numbers. He's a little bit flexible and dynamic, yes, and he can spin around and shit, but only within that room. And then he moves on to the next very much prescribed and predestined room. So it's easy, and you can fucking flow chart it. I think we can do a diagram of a fucking really, really, you can like a guidebook, a narc guide, you know, just like in the field. Is it one of these type? Is it one of these type? Get a fucking app on the phone going. Do you know what I mean? Like they've got for plans. You can do all sorts with it once we've got this fucking, just like the Ricardo, the Cody method. Do you know what I mean? Like, let's just compare every single narcissist in the world to Ricardo Cody. I'm not going to do that really, but you know, there's possible things that it can be used for.
who are losing something, if you care about the person, whatever, but otherwise, but like I was saying before, you see what the DDC was doing with me? Every person who I care, who I like, they want to treat me like a punch bag. When everybody knows, I never been nobody's punch bag.
What happened with Dave C? Did they? Yeah, exactly. We'll flowchart him. I think we can at least do him. I think it's a bit ambitious to compare every narc in the world to him. But I was being flippant there. But
All right, and that right there is bullshit too, because I've never been anybody's punching bag. Okay, so why is he sucking Jeff Hyatt's dick right now? Because if I remember, Jeff Hyatt fucking made videos on him, calling him, like a scumbag because he sold a broken console to a single mother. He asked him if he was a legal U.S. citizen. Talked all this shit about him. And then Hyatt was bragging about how he absolutely destroyed Ricardo Cody's channel.
Oh, that's
and
right.
all this shit.
On,
and then immediately, oh, look at me. I'm fucking Jeff Hyatt's moderator.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I know. And it just move both of them. And it shows it when people are like that. And that's what I meant when I saw it in Cyrus as well. Because when they both, it's like you see two jazz performers improvising, and when they really align and they just move together in the time perfectly, and you see them do it, you've got another one because they just fucking do it. You saw Evil and Ricardo, it took them a while because they were both threatened by each other at first, but I saw it happen. And I've seen it with Cyrus, and I saw it in this case with Hyatt and Ricardo, definitely. Yeah. And that's the only thing I'm basing it on. That's literally, I'm not no fucking professor, but yeah, that's what I'm just going on my like normal everyday threat.
Well, if he says that he's nobody's punching bag, he sure seems to let a lot of people dog walk him, and then he welcomes them back because what else does he have?
Well, I'm waiting for the progression, projection to move on to something else, because at the moment it's still projection. And then you get to the point of like, okay, so why? Because it's like he really needs to get this shit out. Do you know what I mean? Is it something like he doesn't feel like he's got enough attention? He never feels like he's got enough attention, does he? So is that because there's some part of him that he feels is massively unheard, and he's just constantly trying to build up a situation or this situation or otherwise to get heard, but because he's so fearful, he will never get to that point to be heard. And so he's just constantly trying to put that information out to just be heard, but he'll never ever come to climax with it, ever. He'll never let himself, because then reality hits him, then it's the post-nut clarity, and then what's he got? Do you know what I mean? So he's just literally doing this forever and ever and ever, and he's just too scared of ever coming to the thing, the spot that he needs to pop to get that out, because it's hard, isn't it? It's hard to do it. It's hard to see it. But for him to be putting so much projection out constantly like this, he's got nothing to react to. Do you know what I mean? Because he makes the shit that people react to. And this is not the first time this has happened to him.
Well, if he's got a problem with you, why not just do it to your face?
Oh, well, I've told him many times. Well, exactly. And then on top of it, it's like he gave me his answer. And this is what I've tried to put across, but I can't explain it properly. But it's not like he just ignored me and carried on. He actually went and did 2 streams where they were openly private, using the privet, calling the wind in the privet and all that stuff to wind me up. So actually that was his answer to me, was like, no, I'm not going to do that. I can do what I want, and I've got all these idiots who are going to buy my shit, and I'm going to brainwash them privately. That's what he was telling me, because he's that much of a little bitch that he can't just let it lie, because he needs that attention and he needs that feedback. So he had to make his fucking reply to me by doing that. And fucking hell.
These big motherfucking rigs.
He's off his fucking nut. Yeah, man. Let's see. A bit more.
Nobody want to be on my receiving end. Yeah,
no, they don't. That's right.
People want to hide behind of a privet to tell me apology behind of a privet. They like to wait 1, 2, 3, 4. Fuck that, man. This get out of the jail free card expired long time ago, man.
That's interesting. Get out of Destruction's evil. The king of destruction's evil magic. Get out of jail free card. That's interesting because it gives me an insight as to what he thought that dynamic was beforehand when they were pretending to be friends when he knew they weren't friends. He saw that as a get out of jail free card.
See, I think it's pretty fucking funny when it's a whole group of people who are all, oh, these people are afraid to talk shit to me. They don't want to deal with me, but then they block everybody who tells them to shut up.
Exactly. But then why is he trying to sell it differently? If he's so sure of it that he's doing private streams, it's like, yeah, these guys are such brain-dead idiots. They're so obsessed with me that I have to make a private. This is how we're going to sell it to these ding-dings, you know what I mean? There's a private stream, and I can't be letting it out there because I'm so important that all these people are up my arse all the fucking time. And they're all making streams about me all the time, do you know what I mean? It's like he had to make this whole show out of it. And make the most out of it and always bring it back to his channel, always bring it back to himself every time. And that's why I said about Dorchin and Evil and all these people, because they all, knowingly or otherwise, were feeding into that because they knew that he had a vested interest in doing that. And as long as they were ready to just give everything to Ricardo's channel, then he'll do anything they want. And they did. They're cheap-ass bastards, and that's what they did. All of them. Hey up, Courtney. Yes, I would give you the link to the panel, but it's about Evil and Ricardo, and you probably don't know any of this shit. And I'm just rabbiting on as well, so you'll probably be quite bored. But I can give you the link if you want. What? Wrong link? Wrong link?
I said that like 3 times ago already, Ron. And I keep it happening. Get the fuck out of here, dude. What do I get from this?
We're just watching this guy lie through his teeth. And not just lie.
I get like 50 views again. I'm going to be a lot better.
Interesting.
And then people come around again. You know, oh, dude, this isn't that. Oh, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, right. Again? What the fuck?
You think?
You know?
You think people are going to come around again?
No,
no, mate. You know that's not going to happen.
You know, it's your friend. You know?
You'll get a couple of alt accounts, and that's it. No one's got time for you anymore, mate. You're just too much of a fucking limpet. And you just attach yourself. Yeah, occasionally someone might come and make some fun or something. But, mate, you've blown it. You've shit your pot full with these lot now. No one's got time for you, ropey old bastard.
Don't run.
Maybe not. I mean, Evil, obviously, they will always come round. He'll come round. He'll be coming and hoovering you. I wonder who will hoover who. Now, I know you were up Evil's arse and Evil had to find a reason to piss you off so that you went off like this, and you had to go off like this because, like Hayat, you have to be in control. Evil knows what you're like and let you do that because he wants to fucking ditch you.
Well, didn't you hear it? That's what he was complaining about.
I thought he was complaining because Evil wouldn't ban Dorchin.
That's the problem.
Yeah, that's the problem he's made up, though. That's not the problem, though, because that was, it's just made up. Everything's made up with these people. It always has been. It always will be. So why would this be any different? It's definitely like, I mean, Dorchin, yeah, they can make a problem out of it if they want, but it's never been a problem before or ever. And he made his whole channel out of Dorchin. So Dorchin's not done anything to piss him off at all, apart from just be the same old annoying bastard that he is. You know what I mean? It's just like, that's it.
Sometimes that's enough.
No, for me, it's a cycle. Evil's coming on to pastures new. Something's happened. Something has changed an alignment with those guys, and they're ready to turn on each other straight away. Now, Evil will play it much more cleverly than Ricardo will. And Evil knows this, and Cuya knows this, and that's why they went for Ricardo in the first place, because they knew if the shit hits the fan that this would happen. And they also know that they can probably hoover him up quite easily as well. So I would say that, I think I said it earlier, but Cuya's main outcome, I would guess, for this, Minority Report in it, is that he would get Ricardo with his thumbprint on, like he's got all these other people who are part of the community but not part of the community anymore, because they're not allowed to be friends with anyone. They're not allowed to be connected with anyone. They're not allowed to just have a free flow of entertainment and interaction, because Cuya has to gatekeep those people. He tried it with Buttocks. He's tried it. But I've been guard dogging that one. You ain't got the chance, mate. The light is on you, and you ain't gonna do it to him just because, like, he's one of the creative people. He wouldn't even try it with you, mate. Do you know what I mean? He wouldn't even fucking try it with you. But there's a lot of people here, and he does not want anyone making anything or doing anything. And you can just see it from the people who he tries to pick out and either control or fucking be just in charge of and just have his fingerprint on him. So he's going to want to put his fingerprint on Ricardo, send him off to infect the rest of the Dink Dinks and all that fucking in that place where fucking Don King's Donkey Kong channel lives and all that, and Paste, where Paste hails from, and get over there and infect all that with his shit. And that's it. That's where I see that's because I was trying to work out what Curious fucking. I think it's a need for the parasite to propagate when it comes down to nature. I think, you know, there has to be an end result to this. And it's just, it has to go off and find new stuff. And he's going to use Ricardo to do it, I think.
No, I'm just sitting here dying of diabetes, apparently.
Oh, yeah, well, that's it. Yeah, I mean.
Oh, well.
There's always something wrong with us, isn't there? I mean, it's not like, I mean, look at this chart, mate. Look at this chart. Apart from unknown deleted users, all right, isn't it?
I think Albert's a pack and a half a day.
I mean, if you weren't threatened, Q, you wouldn't be putting all this in here, would you? So we'll just take this one out because you've got two now. So we'll move on to at least Ricardo has a home from Albert's concrete pillow. That's not an excuse. Even if it was true, that's nothing, is it? Really, compared to everything. So does that excuse this for a grown man? How old is he? 48.
I totally understand. I see what you're trying to do. I respect that. You know, Rodamon. But 1, 2, 3, 4,
just
5
playing
times.
this whole.
Come on, man. The only person who takes that matter of abuse of some alcoholic or drunk person is a son of the abusive alcoholic. Like I was son of the abusive alcoholic. I took so much abuse of my father. I was a kid, you know.
That's what you need to get out.
Or a wifey of the abusive husband.
I'm sorry you went through that, Ricardo. I really am. Genuinely sorry, because it must have been hard. And the difference is, right, that you are still in that place. And maybe this is going to be a slap across your face to just be like, snap out of it, man. Are you going to let your dad live in your head and ruin your life to this level where every single interaction you have with someone is like this and ends up like this? And you end up back into your tried and tested ways of just fucking defending this lie and defending that lie. Which lie, Ricardo? Which fucking lie deep within the fucking desert Situm? What is it? Situm? What the fuck's I said? Desert Situm? Well, anyway, which lie? You know, it's like you just know how to run the fucking buffet. Do you want to change the fucking menu? Or are you just going to do that forever? Is that what you're going to do? Are you going to let your dad do that to you? Because all this shit that's stopping you from connecting with people, that's stopping you from being real, is the stuff that your dad put in your head. And he fucked you up when you were a kid. Are you going to let him fuck you up now? You're 48. Get a grip, man. Right? Like, there's a difference between talking like an adult and talking like a child. Now, I am overreactive. I'm over-emotional. I'm an over-explainer. I can rabbit on for fucking ages. There's probably only about 3 people left here bothered watching now because I'm boring. But I'm talking like actual, you know, when I'm being fucking, hyper, what is that thing where you talk to you? Exaggerations and dramatics. You know when that's happening, and you know when the actual talking is happening. Because the way I'm approaching it, I'm not trying to sell anything apart from just now when I'm like, just get your fucking dad out of your head. Because I want to get in. I want to fucking break through your hypnosis, and I've got to find a way of trying to do that.
I don't know. I wouldn't go that far, you know.
Well, he's just said he's been abused by his dad. Why else does a creature like that exist in the world?
Yeah, but that's not something I would bring up, you know.
Oh, he brought it up.
Yeah, but that's his thing to tell, you know.
Oh
I
yeah,
wouldn't
that's all I'm saying.
I wouldn't bring that up to use on him.
I'm not using it on him. I'm not. That's my point. Is that okay then? So for whatever reason, he was. I've already established that he is. I do get what you're saying, and it could be taken that way. I don't mean it to sound like I'm having an attack on him at all. I'm not. I'm not here to attack him. I'm here just to see what he's doing and react to it. I am pissed off at him, so there will be a tinge to what I'm doing, but I'm not here just to attack him. If me and Vic were here, we would probably be laughing at him more. But like, I'm here to just be like, what the fuck? How does a man get to this point? And he'll tell you himself with his projection. He's just said what happened to him, and I do genuinely feel bad for that for him. He's had to say that. He's had to feel that, and I totally get that.
But I let the clip play through a little bit to kind of get an idea of what he's complaining about, because all I'm hearing so far is just he's angry at evil, and he's saying this is why people put up with evil shit is because of that. But let's see more of what he has to say then.
Alcoholic. That women also gonna take a lot of abuse, or a son, or whatever, a family member, and then even abusive father, abusive alcoholic father, abusive alcoholic husband, abusive alcoholic son. Even those people they ask their apology to their family later. Of course, we're not family, I'm nobody's father, or son, or husband, or wife, but doesn't fucking matter, dude.
Let me just say, we'll carry on listening to it in a minute. Nobody's father.
Get out of
Yeah.
garden fire. Get the fuck out of here. Yeah. That drives me crazy.
I feel like that was
I only get mad like this with the people who I like it. Yeah, people who I don't care, I don't care.
That's key. That's key. That's key. See, that's telling you how much this is connected to him, because he's actually let these people in, apparently, as much as he's going to. Bearing in mind that he still sees Evil's chat as an extension of his chat, and so when Evil didn't do what he wanted him to do in what was he classed in his mind as his chat, basically, he felt well within his rights to kick off. So at the same time as really in his head, that's really liking someone.
Yeah, but was he telling Evil to ban Dash in his chat or in Evil's chat?
Evil's.
Then who the fuck is Ricardo to tell him what to do in his own channel?
Well, exactly. But this is him justifying it, and that's what I mean. That's why I'm interested in all the fucking flutterances and all the connections and why he's doing it at a certain time. And I do think he wants to get something out of his system.
I mean, look, you people can talk all the shit about me you want, but what's right is right. It's not his place to tell Evil what to do on his fucking channel.
That's the thing. It's like, even given every time we've had a falling out and everything, even with when I fell out with fucking Ricardo the first time, when he banned me because I thought it was DV that told him to. It might have been Albert. When I was falling out with Albert, he banned me straight up. He didn't know me from Adam. He was being a big cog. He was the original big cog. So then I started talking to him at that point. But why was I on about that? About what we were talking about a minute? It's gone out of my head. What were you saying? What did you say before?
Just pretty much, why is he telling Evil what to do in his own shit?
Oh, because it's normalized with them. That's what they do. He's always been like that. Always. And Evil knows this. They all know it, right? Part of the reason why no one had any time for him is he's very antisocial in so many ways, and he has to have a safe space, and he doesn't give a shit if people see how much of a pussy he is, because he just carries on, pretends it hasn't happened, and everyone kind of goes along with it. And it has worked like that up to now. So, he literally just said that he'll spend hours winding everybody up trying to get on the Discord, having no intention of ever getting on the Discord. That happened. That went on for hours. And then he'll just act like he never did, and everyone goes along with it.
I mean, hey, right now, all I'm seeing is you've got one man telling another man what to do about another man.
Yeah, but to me, it's like, why is he already all of a sudden having a problem with that? And why is he all of a sudden trying to get proprietary over Evil? Because my point is that this demand that he has got, that he's put so much importance on, that's a bit different to how he would act normally. And yes, he does get people to ban people. He constantly tests the water. Constantly, it's like testing how much that person likes you, how much that person's your friend. That's how he tests. Like, is that person going to ban that person for me? Is that person going to do that for me? Then yes, then I can trust them. Like, that's what he's doing, and it didn't work this time because he keeps pushing. He will always push further and further with Ricardo as well because he's also a Gannet. Because he's never, ever, ever going to let himself reach that crescendo and let it out, he will always push for more and more and more. He just will not ever be satisfied. So he will always challenge evil or whoever it happens to be in his sight more and more and more to just be like, yes, you will do this for me. And it will never satiate him. He will always get to a point where he won't be able to do it anymore, and then he will fuck him off. But the person who's happening to, most of the time will have fucked off way before or never even got involved because he's so bad. Like, he's so, like, really, evil's good at it. This guy is overt with it. Do you know what I mean? But once he gets in doing it, he can hypnotize. But no one will even touch him with a fucking barge pole because they can see it a mile off. But Evil, you see, had a vested interest to do so because he could use this guy to do what he did. And he did. You know what I mean? He fucking did. And he did that because Curia suggested it, in my opinion. Because he can see, because Curia gets a lot from getting people to do things for him on another level. He's another one. He needs it as well. He will never be satisfied as well. He needs to get something off his fucking chest as well. You see? And it's all focused around drunk people who, I will use the word retarded in the sense of still at that place. And I know my audience, I know the people I'm talking to, and we're all into the retro games and all that stuff. I'm not knocking nostalgia at all. I fucking love it. I fucking love Fatal Visions advert clips, right? For that reason, that is pure. That's what it's all about, right? But I also about the fine line as well of living in that space and being able to use that to augment your reality instead of detract from it, instead of it being your entire reality, instead of narrowing your whole experience into that. It's like, no, that's there to add to reality. That's like, you know, giving you roots and giving you some references and some richness and a tapestry to work from. That's fucking awesome, but don't make that your life. This is what happens.
You know, it was not easy for me to go like this on Dosha, but come a point, you know, well. So with Evil as well. So what? 1, 2, 3, 4, 7, 8. Do you think I care about whatever some loser PSGs are talking about? No, I don't care.
More projection.
I don't care because it's not me. I'm not the one who's making fool of myself.
Really? Really? He doesn't care. He doesn't care. He doesn't care. No, he doesn't care at all. Just Curia. No, he didn't care. Pure projection in the purest sense of the word. I cannot stress it enough.
You know?
Right, it's 8 o'clock, so I'm going to do this for another, 10 minutes?
No, man, I'm sorry. And I'm sorry that you have to hear this, Ron, because he used to hear this because he didn't want to hear that. You know? So what's the value? What's the interest in that? What the fuck? Why would I do?
Obviously, the evil side of this is just as interesting and just as varied and just as much to give. And has got just as much vested interest in it, I imagine. I wouldn't expect it to be quite as spreading his bowels out for all to see, like the Judas that he is. I wouldn't quite expect that as from Evil, but there'll definitely be a version of it. Whether we get to see it or not is another matter.
What? The fuck out of here, man. With all respect.
And just as well to say, I'm not making like a big massive thing about this. Oh, it's World War III or any of that shit. No. It's just that when the pressure comes on at these minor points, there's so much that can be shown. So much that is shown. And whether I'm wrong about it or not, but I'll show you what I see. And this is when you get to see the shit. They'll be friends again by tomorrow, like I say. I know this.
Sorry. It's just like your David C. It's just like David C. Ron. It's just like David C. David C. went off on me because Tibeli wrote a message on the chat Oh man, how can I control what Tibeli gonna write on the chat? Am I going to be disrespectful to Tibeli? Dude,
He's
I know
just told.
Tibeli on the
He's
YouTube
just
as long
literally
as I
2 minutes
know
ago said that he was going to ban everyone and no one's allowed here. He doesn't take no shit talking on no one and all the rest of it. Literally within a few. I mean, I know it's been an hour or something for us, but in reality, it was a couple of minutes max. So just another one.
David C. Probably even before, you know. No, David C. too. Yeah, man. What the fuck? Only people who I like who does that. Only people
Hey,
who I like.
Carl.
Shit, I didn't get the wings. What happened? Why didn't I get the wings?
Oh, I was doing the wrong thing here. Yeah. We haven't got to the mentally ill bit, have we? We haven't even got to the drinking bit. We'll have to do that with Vic.
No, I only get.
I'm getting right confused now.
No, it's all good. So I totally understand, Ron. I totally understand. And you know, Ron. Come on, Ron. Ron, do you think we care that the evil drinks and get drunk and goes off on us? Every one of us who likes evil and hang with evil, we understand. We see this happen all the time. We know that we are used to it. You know what I mean? I totally understand. But you see, evil on that occasion, he was the unhinged lunatic. He went off on me because I asked him to ban Toshanubi. I said, what the hell? Toshanubi was talking smack on him like the night before.
See, this part I'm not so interested in. This is just his spiel. Do you know what I mean? This is just his story. I know what this is. This is just his bullshit. So we can see the story. So yeah, he's saying it's because one night, the night of Cyrus's stream, was it? Was it this? Which stream was he talking about? Did I miss him saying that? Hey up. Who do you read? Now, could you... I've lost it already. I don't know which stream he's on about, but at some point he's pissed off. We know. That's all that we know. That at some point he gets pissed off. No reason given, really. No reason given. This is just bullshit.
I've been every single account from the fucking pedophiles and everybody else.
He bans every single account, but he doesn't want to disrespect Tibeli.
That's the only reason. I'm not trying to control nobody's channel. What the fuck?
No projection.
Now you're not only for your fucking mistake.
He really doesn't care, does he?
What the fuck? You're not proud to fuck your fucking self every fucking time, but you are proud to give a fucking apology to someone? No, you're not. It's because it didn't matter. He didn't care. Okay, I don't accept what the fuck I'm supposed to do.
He doesn't care, very much like Darius, that he has just done all of the shit he much less than what he's accusing Eagle of doing or whatever. And literally within like a couple of hours of doing it to someone else, he is overtly crying on the internet, not giving a fuck about how he sounds, to Ron, of all people, about doing the stuff that he is. So he's already took the piss out of doing the stuff. I thought he was taking the piss. Maybe he believes it. Accusing others of doing the things that he was doing. Now he's overtly crying and blaming that when he did that. Does he believe his bullshit? The question remains, does he believe this?
That's exactly what happened. I wouldn't say this, Ron. But they...
Would you buy a used car from this man?
Doing. I respect, but hey, man, I have to say this way because that's how he does. He ain't going fucking brave.
He knows.
Apologize. Get the fuck out of here, man. Nothing,
this
man.
is not for Ron's benefit. He knows that he's not going to get a fucking Rizzler between Ron and Evil. He knows that. He knows what sort of person Ron is. He knows what sort of person Evil is, and he knows what sort of person he is. But then, does he believe his own bullshit? He might. He genuinely might believe his own bullshit. He might overvalue his contribution that much that he does think he can come in and just do that. Now, he knows he could do it with me because he got the red carpet rolled out for him by Kuya, given his fucking marching orders, and then obviously Evil was there, like, straight away, like the fucking Umbongo dog, straight up. So that was a different matter. It was all set up and contrived, but in this case, obviously this is set up and contrived as well. Is Ricardo, it's weird, it's like this mix of sort of giving up and just, acceptance for his role, for his point in the cycle, for the longevity of this particular, benefit boon that he got given. There's like an acceptance of that and a gnosis that is what happens, and a gnosis of the timeline of it.
Well, I mean, he's got to have something to bitch about.
Yeah, but that's like he accepts that. It's like, yeah, and that's it. And he goes through that cycle of bitching. Yeah, exactly. So that's what he's used to. But at the same time, there's this level over the top of him of really believing his own bullshit. Like, he does things that makes you think, yeah, he does believe that. Is he just that good at lying? He's just that good at lying, I think.
Yeah, get the fuck out of here. Everything have limits, man.
I don't know how you can play a game this great and bitch about a guy like Evil.
Look at Koyamika trolling.
I can't see you, I can't see you, Curia, because you're too scared. But you're coming over to my chat.
Ron, I know that they're wrong. I told you this before. I used to let you do even on my channels, right? To have fun with those, and I know. But came to a point, and we do this, Ron, because that's how he gets his satisfaction. He's geeky. It's the only interaction that he has, man. You know this, Ron. Breaks my heart, breaks my heart more than anybody, guys, to think like this about Doshin. But in me, come to a point that I had no other option. I had to do this. I had to take action.
I believe that.
I had to lose people.
I believe that to some level. I actually believe that bit. There is some truth in it. I think more translated to be like he thought he was, like, to him, he will see him as a friend. He likes Doshin, right? But it's not. It's that he got what he wanted out of Doshin, and he was a handy person to have around. And now he did not want to get rid of that tool. Sorry, Doshin, and no offense, but he saw you as a tool. They're all tools, all of them. This is why I want to do it, Fatal Vision, you're asking, because I've never really seen real life, pure 100% fucking tools in the wild. I've never seen it. I think at a young age, you start discerning your group of friends, and I know this sounds like I'm like having a go, and I am a little bit, but even just in real life, there is a point at which you just walk away from some fucking idiot because you just have not got the time or energy for it. And people bring people into your lives and your friendship group and stuff, and you find a way of, between you, you just end up finding your tribe, and people just either they come and join the tribe or they don't, and that's what happens. And so as you get older, for me, I don't think I've come across some bad ones in my time. Don't think I haven't, but I've never really had time to sit and actually look at them in the wild because I'm too busy doing something else. But with this, they're just doing it, and it's not. They don't give you enough to titillate you enough to make it interesting enough. And the backdrop of the games as well, it makes it interesting. But yeah, like, these are actual full tools. They don't even have a memory of the last time they were used as a tool. They don't have the memory of the last time they used one of their other tools as a tool, because they're just fucking tools.
You mean they're tools in bed?
Pardon?
They should just use their tools on each other and they'll be happier.
Yeah, exactly. It doesn't have to be a bad thing, does it, to be a tool? It's just whether you're happy to be that. But yeah, I suppose maybe they aren't just tools. Maybe there's a point, because obviously with Ricardo, yeah, I think, do you know what? I think with Curia and Evil, they'd got a kind of social, almost social way of navigating the world as tools and as people who could only work with other tools. And they'd found a kind of social way of doing it. And then Evil threw fucking rock in that pond by getting involved with me in any sort of a way. Fucking Curie did not like that at all. He is massively, like, antisocial. He's, when it comes to the energies, he's got a massive antisocial energy. So then, you've got a lot of energy behind that then. And then that twists the way the tools are used. So it becomes a problem because there's then this like fixation on this one thing, and then the tools are all fixed around this one point. And what was their symbiosis and balance that they managed to get? It come down to this point, you know, they come to this level. We were all in this low grade area, and I think it's a high grade area, but you know what I mean, in some, you know, categories, chakras and energy wise, we're in a low level or whatever. They come to this point to settle down. It's like a sinkhole here, you know, where you get all comers, or like a little bit on a beach where all of the flotsam and jetsam, you get all the varieties and everything mixed up on that one bit of beach. One bit will just have loads of shells, you know, one bit will just have a load of seagull shit on it. And then you'll have one bit that's just in the corner, and it might have a bit of seagull shit in it, it might have some shells in it, it's also got a load of other shit in it. And some treasure as well. And that's where we are. And so they ended up in here as well. And they managed to have a facsimile of a human existence, pretending to be human, pretending to have friends. They managed it. Ricardo was struggling. Curia was the one that joined them all together because he had a vested interest. Dorshin was the battery that powered the whole thing because he had a vested interest. Ron is the grease that makes it all work. He hasn't even got a vested interest apart from just wanting to be part of a tribe. I wonder what happened with Ron. I wonder what his backstory is. I'd love him to tell me one day what made him like that. See, look at this chat here. Look at him grooming. Look at him grooming, Dorshin. Look at this. Now, Dorshin, I'm not letting you on because I don't know. I think that it's probably not going to be that conducive. And also, you've got the echo on your mic. Now, if we talk about having a stream and you coming on and it being a thing, I'm not just going to add you on randomly at the moment, okay? But if we discuss it and we come up with something and we do it, then I'm fine with that, okay? But can I not just say within a couple of days, here we are with Curia putting out the overtures to Dorshin. Anyone who can see who knows what they're looking at, knows what they're looking at there. I don't even need to fucking explain it. Did I or did I not fucking call this? All right. Fucking handler all the way along. And the thing is, Curia, you think you're the fucking king of the donkey people, but if you were such a fucking king of the donkey people, you wouldn't have to be on every fucking stream all the time, on every person all the time. There's an elegance to it. You should fucking watch and learn, buddy.
Who I like it, who hang with me because of him. Holy shit, man. Fuck what I'm supposed to do. You know? No. I'm gonna get rid. All these people gonna go away. I'm gonna start to get like 50 views again. And there's gonna be 50 real people. People who comes to watch or to have a drama or something. We talk about the Metal Jesus Rocks, you know. We talk about the Cuyamico, right? We talk about anything, right, Cuya? But it will come the point. People who come around, people who do it. Yeah, I've been there. I know how it is.
Yeah, he'll just wheel out. What he's saying here is he'll wait for the heat to go off him, and then he'll just start bitching about people again when he knows that no one's looking. Because it's the only fucking bread and butter he's got. He's going to talk about Uyumiko, is he? That was him saying, I'm going to just bitch about everybody all over again. Even though all he's doing is bleating about people who don't want to talk to him. And he's proven that with his fucking projection, was that's what their fucking tack was for ages when nobody gave a shit. Everyone was having streams and conversations and like, oh, you're just upset that no one's talking to you. And you're like, how much projection as the alt on the channel full of people who don't want to talk to you? Having to come on as an alt because you banned me, you blocked me yourself, and then cry about shit like that. Like, how lonely do you have to be? This is like, you know what I mean? You fucking kicked off, the party carried on without you, and you went and got a load of new people off the street to carry on your party and fake about it. Now you're like, hey, look at my party. Like, no one cares, Curia. But like, my point is, the elegance is not there, is it? I mean, I'm not particularly elegant, but the elegance is not there for how you are orchestrating these people. You are having to be in, and I know for a fact you're in that chat all the way through it, because I saw it at Dean's, handling him. Always there, always trying to be the fucking gatekeeper. That is my opinion. That's right. That's my opinion.
People who got entrapped by him, and people people know exactly what's going on. People know.
They do, mate.
People know, okay? I'm not
maybe
talking out of my ass, man.
that could be a reference to. Now I'm giving him maybe too much credit that he's actually talking about shit that actually means something. But that could be part of it, is that they know that people know. They know that things are coming together now, and they can't just keep going like they were. They have to change it up a bit. That could be that.
People know.
It's interesting what they say. You know, the brain chooses these words. That's like the statement analysis. The guy died. Absolutely gutted. His name was Peter Hyatt, and he was a statement analyst, and he is fucking amazing. And one day we'll watch a video of his, and he really was amazing. And one of his things that he said was like, you use that brain capacity to choose that wording for a reason every single time. It's our job then, if you're wanting to know what the meaning is, to work out, you know, what the scale of reasoning is, I suppose, and what the context is to make out what that reason is. But there is always a reason for it. It's never just a random word just picked out of your brain. Never, apart from if you're like under drugs or something and you're obviously doing that. But unless you're doing that intentionally, like whatever reason, it's always got a reason.
Fuck this guy, man. The night, oi amigo. On the night before, when Evil went off on me because I asked him to ban Doshanubi, night before, Doshanubi was in a fucking 90 hours stream. I don't remember who was it. I don't remember who was it, man. I don't remember who was. Look, Doshanubi was in a 90 hours stream without account of me, without account of Evil. You know, people talking all kinds of smack around the mall.
Creep's gonna creep. Like, this is the guy crying to Ron about someone putting like 4 different alt accounts in a chat, which was just a small stream, and it was just part of the stream. It wasn't the whole stream. It was like him making his whole song. It was just a bit of a skit that someone did, and it was funny as fuck. And he's legit crying to Ron. Now, does he think Ron is his stool pigeon in this? Do you know what I mean? Like, if he doesn't believe his BS, because he can't. He literally can't, can he? You know what I mean? Like, after that, and not care about what he looks like. Do you know what I mean? Actually crying. No proof, no evidence, no nothing. Just pure shit. Pure crying of the thing that happened yesterday. Is he that brain damaged from playing save states and shit? Is he that brain damaged that he can only remember like 30 seconds ago? It's got to be, hasn't it? Because none of that is true at all. And not even going along with the fact that he's talking to his mate who was there. Not even going with the fact that it's on the internet, so it's all written down. Do you know what I mean? It's just mind-blowing. Absolutely mind-blowing.
Call around the mall like he's a fat diesel, that blah 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 Mexican. You know who, guys? I don't remember who was it. He was on a 90-hour stream with those guys talking all kinds of smack on us, man. That's why I say, dude,
doesn't matter. Look at this trying to fucking Curia trying to normalize it, mate. That's just absolutely not even. It's not even on the radar. It's not even on the agenda, on the menu, in the fucking reality that you've made. That you have made and manufactured with the hard sides and the friction and the echo chamber and the fake fucking audience, right? That place that you've made and you've banned people from, that reality and your rules do not stretch out into the real world. And your rules are fake, hypocritical at that as well. The guy who's enforcing them is doing it himself. It's crazy. Fucking, you know, so that being banned, I know that doesn't mean anything. Being banned by Ricardo is not for any real reason. There's no real banning going on there. And you know that, don't you? You just totally know all of that. And that's why all you can say is that it's a lie to try and, like, I don't know, juxtaposition and go, oh, look, I've set her off. No, I'm just going for it. I'm just going for it, mate. By saying this is a lie, you're going to try and cheapen it into me going, oh, it's not a lie, or something like that, and then try and pretend that you've got some sort of Donkey King string pulling going on. Is that what it is? But it's cheap, mate, and it shows you've not got much in your arsenal. If that's all you've got. It's not. I would give it a little bit for observation, but it's very cheap, and if that's all you've got, my channel is more successful than yours. Again, it's old. It's been redone a lot, so this is your chance. So let's, you know what I mean? Are you just gonna? What are you trying to manifest here? Like a very boring. Are you going grey rock? Is that what you're doing with this? Because we know what you're in what you're like in real life. So everything that you're pretending that you're not at this point, it tells me more because I know what you're like. You see, so you can pretend all you like to everybody, and it makes no difference. It tells me more. So I know what you're really like. Yeah. And I know he hates it. He fucking hates. He hates having a mirror shone up to himself. I bet you don't look yourself in the eye in the mirror. I bet you don't.
Yeah.
Yeah, I bet you don't. They're all the troll army. That was my true dream of yesterday. Yeah, this is troll army. So yeah, Cyrus. I've been attacked for 10 years, right? You've been attacked for 10 years. If you fucking stood up to them and you said a word with them, all you're gonna get is Tommy coming over and being a bit bored. You get a load of shit from Ricardo, you get a load of shit from Evil, but they show themselves to be the liars to themselves. You don't even have to fucking do anything apart from record the streams because they'll delete them. Apart from that, and just let them know that you're watching, eventually they will show themselves to everybody and you don't even have to do anything. And they will shut up. All I've got now is Tommy trying to write his fucking rhetoric and his propaganda to people who already know what he's like. And he'll delete all his comments afterwards. So you really don't. The best he can hope for now is for me to forget, be distracted, and for him to flood this chat so nobody can actually put anything in it, so that when he deletes his comments, it's a dead chat. That's all he's got. And you could have been in that position a long time ago and taken charge of the conversation, but you don't. Because you get attention from being the victim, you see? You're not as bad as Ricardo, though, by a long shot.
Man. You know, and then Evil have to understand one thing, man. He's a human being. He's not.
And I'll just say another thing about the Cyrus thing as well. With his projection, I found that interesting because he's like saying, oh, and you're saying you're a victim and everyone's so terrible to you and it's just you and all this. It's like, when have I ever done that? When have I ever done that? So that is just pure projection. Because am I acting like a victim now? I've actually been treated like one, even though you're saying I haven't been. Do you know what I mean? If you wanted to look at it in that way. But as I said before in my video, it's not about that. I wouldn't be here and I take responsibility. I couldn't be in this place having not taken responsibility for myself and still be here. Like I say, I've outrun loads of other people who have this done too. Where's fucking James? Where's James? Where's Darius? Where are all these people? Like, they're all fucking, they can't hack it. Where are you? And it's just like, and you're all fucking bitching at me, and it's like, fucking let me lead the way for you. Other people have led the way for me. I'm not just fucking saying that. I've learnt from the best. You know who you are.
Superman. You know, people who drinks have mood swings. You have to understand. You know, but hey, man, we're gonna
more projection.
We're gonna. Everybody have to give it discounts to the guy every time. The guy never owns. The guy never recognized. What the fuck?
I wouldn't be surprised if he's heard Evil say this about him. Now he's not wrong. He's fucking right about this. To be fair, he's bang straight. And if he's been in that Discord for any length of time, and that's something I've spoken to Vic about, obviously there's the good days and the bad days of Evil and Tommy, and the whole Discord runs around that, and it's a cult. To any dink-dinks who are listening, if you're wondering about that sort of shit, then that's what that is. Ask Michael about it, but he won't talk to you because he's too fucking scared in case they do the thing to him what they did to me. And you listen to him and he'll just spout their rhetoric straight off the cuff, straight to me. Straight with their exact words.
So what's the point? What's the fucking point, man? You know, again and again.
Is Carl on? Come on, sorry, Carl. I'm not leaving you. Oh, sorry, mate. Oh, you are on. Sorry. No, you're not on. You're not there. Carl's not here, Chopper. If Carl wants to come on, he can do. I'll put the link up somewhere. Is it gone? Yeah, Carl, if you want to talk, you can do, because you can definitely speak on this. You've definitely got stuff to speak on. And I know you do, Dorshin, as well. And he is talking about you. I know that. But me and Vic are going to be doing a reaction to the majority of this when he gets onto Vic and stuff like that. So I thought it'd be better if you're on with that when we're all together. And I don't know. I'm just not in the mood for the echo and the distraction. I don't mean to be harsh, though. I will. Do you think that's harsh, Fatal Vision? Shall I let him on?
Why not?
Oh, you'll see. You'll see. If you want to come on, Doshi, you can do. Fatal Vision says, why not? I want to prove to him why not. Yeah, Carl, are you coming on? I'll put the link up for the panel. Just because Chopper said that you wanted to speak. And Dorshin wants to speak as well, and I have ignored him. I do admit it. I did ignore him. I'm sorry, Dorshin, and I don't mean to be harsh. I don't. It's just, it's hard to navigate this whole thing, and I want to just be open to you know. But at the same time, it's hard to. I think what I'm saying is navigate is probably a nice way of putting maintain control, like a control freak about the situation. But I think I feel the need to maintain control when you're involved, and that's just, you know. Quote Ricardo, that's your fault. That's your fault, Dorshin. Blame Dorshin. Blame Dorshin for everything. Yeah, so anyway, the thing is there, if anybody does join and I'm on listening to this idiot, then just let me know and I'll let people on. But I'm not going to be on for much longer. I want to save some for Vic. I've said quite a bit of shit. I've made my treaty to Ricardo to get those fucking negative thoughts from his father out of his head and stop taking it out on us. But I will take on what Fatal Vision said and try and be more respectful in that sense.
No, don't bring his dad into it.
No, he did bring it though, and
but that's his story to tell.
Yeah, it's that whole like tell me about your mother shit though. I know, but he's been telling everyone else's stories left, right, and centre. And that is like, I've been constant, and it's true, I need to keep it quiet because this is public. But in general, like, if I was just talking to you on a phone call, right, it'd be like, fucking hell, this is the root of it. Do you know what I mean? Because, like, and it's all supposition, I'm not going to play Ricardo. I'm not going to pretend anything. I'm not trying to get one over on him. I'm not trying to even have a go like certain people have had a go at Hayat for the same thing. I'm not. I'm just saying, like, I'm always looking for the peg of where the drive is for all this shit. And I'd already said about him wanting to get something off his chest and all that stuff. And we've already discussed about how he's got this obsession with children. So it was just very much one of those moments where you're just like, oh shit, that's what it is, isn't it? That's what it is. But yeah, this is public, so apologies.
Oh, before it happens on the last 2 times, I said 2 times ago, right, Ron, that I will never talk to anyone, to you or to him, right, Ron? You remember? We went over that. I went back on what I said, I backtracked, we went back, right, Ron? Then happened again. I told even Prime 1, say Prime 1, it's going to happen this and that because the way how it is. Next week it happened. Guess what? Hey, let's go hang together again. You know, we have some enemies in common.
What happened?
Yeah, we have.
It's the same fucking script with all of these people in all of the forms that it takes. They never land on the issue. What actually happened, though? What happened at Prime Ones that you said was going to happen and then happened a week later? What is it that Ron's agreeing to here? He has never said exactly what it was, what happened. What happened, Ricardo? What was it that Dorshin did that he's not done in the past? Or is he talking about the fact that he did it again? See, I'm getting mixed up. Again, it's willfully obfuscating it. Because it's like, who is he talking about? Is he talking about Evil did it again, as in he didn't listen to Ricardo's directions and ban Dorshin, and it happened again, as in Dorshin turned up? Or no one listened to Ricardo, therefore it happened again, as in Dorshin turned up and it happened again. The thing that Dorshin did that was the thing that resulted in him being banned. I think he's maybe even trying to mix the language up of those two. That's how in depth it is. Maybe I've picked up on something here where he is like literally there's two terms of speech which are really similar but mean two different things. And he is actually so skilled at subconsciously being able to pick words in the language which are so similar that they create enough of a wiggle room that he can move the next line before he's even finished. That is impressive if that's what he's doing, especially since English is his second language. And then it's like, has he done that because English is a second language? Do those words stand out more to him as that? Or what? That's just right interesting. Right, so what am I on? Oh, it's 8:30. Right, so should we leave it now? What do you think? Or shall I put a bit more on of this guy? How long have I done of it? I'm at 1:54:31.
I thought they wanted to come up. What happened?
Huh?
I thought they wanted to come up in the panel. What happened?
I don't know. I don't think anyone did in the end. But that's okay. It wasn't, it was just one of them.
And wait, did you say that Hyatt is obsessed with children?
Who is? Me saying that? No. It was Ricardo. We've discussed that recently. We've been discussing it, certain people.
Oh, I was going to say, well, it's fucking Hyatt the same way, too. He's obsessed with kids.
See, I don't know enough about that part of it with him. I've not.
Everything with him revolves around kids or something happening to kids. It's always kids with him.
Do you? And this is the thing as well. This is where I find this stuff like not interesting because that's a bit insensitive to a situation, but like it's educational in that when someone's doing something like that, is it because
the link is there, user?
With Hayat, he's more about getting the clicks. So I think with him, he's really into just getting what's on trend and talking to who he can to get that attachment, to get that whatever it is, and he'll just use that. And so when he's talking about kids and stuff, is it because he came into this scenario when Ricardo was already here? Ricardo being so dominant that he'd made that scenario to Hayat coming in, he either had to be with him or against him. Like you mentioned, he was against Ricardo for a long time, but in a big way because he had to be fully all in because he's grifting, he's selling, he's putting his whole heart and soul into. That's how he sees it in his mind. He's putting his whole heart and soul into his YouTube channel. So every time he flips and flops and goes onto whatever he thinks is a fashionable thing that's going to get him some eyes on his channel.
Oh, he'll do anything. He'll do anything to get attention.
As soon as he does that, he'll just flop and put his whole heart into it. That's what makes him interesting. He'll like completely go into it and believe his shit. He's learned. He's like perfected that art of like deluding himself so much and like suspending his disbelief and just going into a fantasy and just making a new fantasy off the cuff to fix the next problem. And then he'll go into that one. And if that one's mutually exclusive of the last one, he doesn't give a fuck. He will destroy the last one.
Oh, that fucking buster left reality land a long
time ago. And that's why when Ricardo was mining it, it showed. It very much showed where he was at.
Well, once again, what does it tell you about both ends of the coin here? Obviously, Jeff has run out of friends.
I just, the way I look at it, it's if these people have shown me, it's just an ecosystem, it's just a food chain, and it's just, varying degrees of hunger from their past experiences, and that's kind of like, goes back to what you're saying there, a need, emotional need. Then there's a parasocial thing that comes into it from the internet, which is what I'm exploring because that's new and novel to me still. I know we've been doing it for 20 years or whatever, but it's still novel to me. So, I'm interested in that side of it and how that skews it. And you've got Hayat, who's a younger generation, who's had pretty much probably that his entire life. Weird, and makes me feel old, but he probably, he doesn't know a world without it. So at some level, he's, you know, a bad version of it because he had a bad start in life and a hard paper round. But he is the fucking future, mate. You know, if you're not a good guardian to your kid and you bring your kid up on a fucking tablet and your kids watch Squid Game by the time they're 3 years old and your kid's sitting, you know, on, you know, being babysat by someone dodgy just on the fucking lap on the.
Well, I don't know about that because he claims to be a fucking woodsman and he's like lived out in the forest and he can
Maybe he
survive.
did. Maybe he had to run away from shit. Do you know what I mean? It sounds like he had a bad one. You know what I mean? So it's just like, of course, he probably lived in the woods. It's a fantasy. Everything would be a fantasy because that reality would be so bad.
Yeah, but once again, you are overcomplicating what it really is. Jeff has run to Ricardo because he doesn't have any more friends. And he needs people because he feels that if he has strength in numbers to go up again and take out the fucking evil PSG.
Well, yeah, I know, but why does he think that, though? That's my thing. Is like, how does someone get to that level of delusion?
Because Hyatt is a fucking moron. You're talking about somebody who thinks that 70 comes after 59.
Yeah.
All right, but once again, what does
I
that
know.
say? What does that?
Think about it from it is true.
But what does that say about Jeff if he's gone and said that Ricardo is an illegal immigrant and he is a scumbag and he said all this shit about Ricardo?
He says
what
is that? As fake as it comes.
What does that say about Jeff if he's so willingly jumped over there after saying all that about him? It means that it means that he is using Ricardo. He is using Ricardo to try to have some
come in, right? If Hyatt had have come in, right?
One sentence, please.
Oh, sorry.
He is fucking using Ricardo so that he's got some form of backup to take on Dean and Albo. That's all there is to it. But what does it also say about Ricardo, though, if Ricardo knows that Jeff said all this shit about him? Like, if somebody was, like, questioning if I'm a U.S. citizen and calling me a scumbag and saying that he's destroyed my channel, you go fuck yourself, you fat fuck.
Yeah, but the thing is, Ricardo doesn't care. It's like a tin of beans. Like you say, it just shows what they think about people. It really does. And that's exactly what it is. He is a tin of beans to Ricardo. This is an ecosystem, the way I see it. You know, so it's like he would... The way you're saying about him using Ricardo as a backbone to fight Dean and Albert is true, but also what's true is what I've seen, which is he knows from his past of fighting Dean and Albert that he's got on easy street with Evil and Ricardo. You know what I mean? If he plays his cards right and if they're desperate enough. So when they need to tap that fucking resource, they'll come and do it. And so he'll keep that fire burning constantly for them. So it's like a chicken and egg situation. Do you know what I mean? It's like he'll get rewarded occasionally by those guys for keeping going at their enemies for them. He's just a fucking bastion. You know what I mean? He's been stationed. He's fucking outreach.
Hey, let them have each other.
Yeah. I'm just analysing it from how I see it. This is what I see.
I know, but I think you're just overcomplicating it. You're looking for... like the fucking Rubik's Cube.
I'm looking for the theory of everything with all this shit.
You're looking for the Rubik's Cube in like a pile of dog shit.
Yeah, I am. Because I'm on hardcore mode, exactly. And there is a Rubik's Cube in a pile of dog shit if you go far enough in. That's what I mean about the fucking fractal. It's all in
but
there.
eventually your hands are going to start to stink.
A universe in a grain of sand, mate. It's beautiful. A pile of shit has 1,000 eyes, as they say. What film's that from?
That's Stand By Me.
Yes, man! Yes, I'll drink the very scrat ends of my red, White Claw to that.
Mr. User says you have to drop the linky.
Okay, right, so we'll finish off with a bit of Carl then. I thought I put the linky in. I've bored you all with my pontifications long enough. I'm sorry. I will put more Ricardo up next time, and we'll listen to Carl and Fatal Vision a bit now because I really have rabbited on. My voice hurts. I've been talking for ages. This is the thing, though, mate, and it's gone on for so long, and I know that it's not the end at all, but it's changed, and I really would like to see. As well, I think a secondary thing for me wanting to do this is because obviously I'm trying different things, and it's like an experiment at some level, an exploration as well. And so I want to know if anything I did was any inspiration to that. That's probably my grandiosity. It probably has got nothing to do with it. It's probably just a natural cycle. Or if anything anyone did in this community, or if not, if it wasn't anything to do with anything anyone did, just what pressures, so that in the field with real people like this, we've already seen an example of what pressures break them down. So when you've got someone signing up to fucking start a smear campaign and start some shit about you, you might know from this exactly what buttons, exactly what things to press on which person in the Flying Monkey circuit to press to get the result that you want. Now that would be a fucking cool thing to be able to do. These people are fucking like clockwork. It's like coding. People around here are good at coding and shit. Let's get on with it. You want to make a computer game? Let's make a fucking computer game out of these flow diagram fuckers. That's what I've got to say. Where are you, Carl? Hello? Got some echo. Oh, I don't know. That might come from... Does the bacterium fecal matter have cells? I think it does. I think they do, yeah. Yeah, I think they do. Yeah. Why not? Why wouldn't they? But I don't think it's the same as us, is it? It's just the bacteria soul.
Says
Yeah.
the link sends them to your Discord.
Does it? It's a StreamYard link.
It says StreamYard.
Yeah, it's a good question, Shudders. I mean, I was talking to someone the other day, I think it was Hungry Wizard, or Drunk Wizard, or whatever his name was, about how someone told me that plants have been reclassified as intelligent, and I believed him. I fucking believed him. But it made me think of certain thought processes for a while, and we don't know the whole thing about when you stand on a blade of grass and all that shit, but it really gave me a gnosis of that, and I was like, fuck, if there is some level of intelligence, then, you know, it would stand to reason that we've shut ourselves off from that, because that is a horrific concept, isn't it? To know that we're doing that. I mean, it's like they shut it off about animals, and, you know, when I was a kid, the concept of animals being connected to humans was just for nature people, whereas now they can't deny that, you know, they've got far more complex feelings and communications than, say, they were talking about 20 years ago, 40 years ago, or however long ago. Pardon?
Bison.
Bison? What do bison do?
It was a drunken Hyatt rant where he's just like, I was out in the forest and I saw bears and wolves and bison.
Yeah, like those guys. Those guys are the only people who knew about the connections of animals. But now it's for everyone to know. I just think, yeah, it's just that we don't want to know, because then we're going to have to deal with the fact that we just have to live in that environment. There is no justice. You could be born as a piece of grass. There you go. And humans can't handle it. So it's all like anthropomorphized or whatever it is. I've got my little tuxedo cat, do you know what I mean? I'm just as guilty as everyone else. Carl, it's a StreamYard link, mate, I think. YouTube is screwing. Oh, okay. Well, I'll tell you what, right? It's nearly the end anyway. So, yes, unless anyone's got any questions in the chat. Show all messages. Yes, I'm on top messages. Yeah, no, that's the thing, you see. But what is that? The vast genocide is a human concept. If we're in a world where everything has a soul, everything has a modicum of intelligence, and that's just life, and that's how life works, which, to be fair, sounds more realistic than the jimmied together bullshit. I'm not saying I've got any proof of it or anything or whatever it means, but it's like, it just seems like, yeah, we're all kind of the same shit, just coagulated in different ways, just like it works with everything else, like paint or chemicals or slime or shit. You know what I mean? It stands to reason. It's way more like sturdy as a concept, isn't it? Just everything's just kind of made of the same shit. Humans aren't special. Yes, genocide happens every time you take a breath. Get with it. I mean, it could even be that, like, you know, the whole thing about, like, in Men in Black, where everything's smaller and shit. Who's to say these bacteria don't have complex fucking all sorts of? I mean, I'm sure it appear in behaviours and shit, but on a small scale that we can't even see. Like, it was in Rick and Morty, you know what I mean? That thing with the power batteries and shit. I love that fucking episode. It's probably my favourite one. Oh, he's here.
Yeah, hello?
Hello. You alright?
Yeah. I am a freaking idiot.
Why?
The problem was staring me right in the face all along, but I got a result.
Ain't that the truth? Well, what was that? What was your problem?
The privacy settings. I'm an idiot. A
Oh, hey, you
freaking
made
idiot.
it in.
You know, I have a philosophy. You know, it's not your fault for being the victim, it's what you do after is what counts.
I've never been
Absolutely.
the fucking victim, though. That's the thing.
I'm speaking generally, though, to
Yeah, well,
all of those people.
Yeah. It works for everything as well, doesn't it? Like, not just the victimhood, like anything, any mistakes, anything. It's what you do afterwards. I agree with that massively. It's what you do afterwards that counts. In your case, in our case, it was long afterwards, wasn't it?
Yeah. Like, and you know, you're going to embarrass yourself along the way, like Tony TGV, for example, but it's what you do, how you pick yourself, how you put yourself back together is what counts.
We've all done something. Well, I can't speak for Fatal Vision, but we've all, like, a lot of, like me and you especially, you know, we can all admit to having done something that we've had to be, oh yeah, that wasn't right about that.
Yeah, we're all human. We all fuck up.
Yeah, we're on a world of, we're living life curiously. That's a good thing. You know what I mean? Like, oh no, I'm not an NPC hanging around in the safe spaces, walking repeatedly into the same wall. Oh, I'm very sorry that I tried something different. Do you know what I mean? Like, why be scared of that?
Oh, I hate safe spacing. I hate it with a passion.
Why we're all mates? Because we've all shown our asses to each other. Like, I had to fucking go to Albert and Dean and be like, yeah, I was fucking wrong. You know what I mean? We've all done it. You apologised to me the other day. Do you know what I mean? It's like we've all got forgiveness, but when it comes to these guys and how they manipulate shit, it's a different story, completely different story. They see that shit as a fucking opportunity, and they don't know. They can't see people as people. They just see them as fucking resources. That's how I see it. With these guys.
And that's the pity of it all.
Yeah, but it's like I said, though. Superman's father just threw fucking the assholes in the Phantom Zone and forgot about them. After a while, you just kind of have to be like, ba-boom, and be like, okay.
I will do that. When I've had my fill of them. I've not had my fill of them yet. There's meat to be made out of this shit for me. Just through my categories that I'm interested in. I do think so. But I agree with what you're saying. I will do that. But I do think to be a good guide for my kid, and maybe this is just an excuse I'm giving myself, but like to be a good guide on the internet, understand the internet. Maybe that's what it is. I want to understand the internet or something, which I'm never going to do. But maybe that's what it is. And so this is like such a far-flung reach of the internet that it's a good place to start, isn't it? And then you can, it's like Cuphead, isn't it? Once you've learned to play that game, you can play any fucking game. It's like this. Once you've learned to play this game, you can play any game on the internet. Not that I wouldn't want to. Boring. Isn't it, Tommy? Isn't it the more you know? Isn't it boring, that side of the internet?
Anyways, did you have a good Christmas, Carl?
Yeah, I enjoy Christmas.
Awesome.
I generally look at Christmas as long as I get to spend time with my family. That's all that counts.
Exactly.
Did you have a good Christmas?
It was a quiet one. The kids were happy, so what more could I ask for, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I agree to that.
I just quit. I stopped being so interested in presents and all that, and just enjoy just spending time with my family.
You got to enjoy it while you have it.
Yep.
Yeah, that's true.
It goes so quick, and we're getting to that age now where time goes quicker, and they weren't lying. None of those old people who told us that shit, they weren't lying. It gets quicker. All that shit that we thought was never going to happen to us is going to happen to us. So enjoy.
It's kind of fucked up to think Gene Hackman, 95 years old.
He's 95. He's 95. He's in his 90s then.
They're all in the 90s.
He lived a life, though.
Yeah. You know, he did some good films as well.
It's just you don't expect to wake up one day and see that the guy from the French Connection, along with his wife and dog, died.
Oh, yeah, there was something about that. So how come he died with his wife and dog? What's going on there?
Didn't they say something about like a carbon monoxide poisoning or something?
Oh, shit, really? Oh, that's sad.
But they're also thinking there might be something more to it. Who the fuck knows?
95, maybe he was just like tired and they were just like, fuck it. Okay.
Life is weird like that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's true.
Oh, well, Gene Hackman, R.I.P. Gene Hackman and Gene Hackman's wife, Mrs. Hackman, and Doggy Hackman.
Gene Hackman is one of the few actors I actually cared about.
Yeah.
He was a good actor in good films, weren't he? There's a few like that. You get good actors in shit films, good film shit actors.
What was your favorite role of his, Carl?
My favorite Gene Hackman movie was The Replacements.
Replacements was a good one.
Yeah, it was a really good movie. What about yours?
French Connection.
Oh.
Isn't he in? Is he in the Birdcage?
Yeah, he was. He was the father. And
Yeah.
the original Lex Luthor.
That's my favourite in the Birdcage. Because that's a great film. I love that film.
Birdcage was funny.
Yeah, it's right. Good. Just the people who are in it as well and see them in that position.
It was an okay movie. I did not hate it.
He was also in Young Frankenstein.
Oh, I don't think I've seen Young Frankenstein. I'd like to see it.
Oh, fucking hell, you're missing out.
I know. That's a definite Halloween film to watch, isn't it? That I've missed out on. Missed out on that one. I think it was on TV once and I missed it.
Yeah, he was he was the blind guy in the cabin. Wait, where are you going? I was going to make espresso.
No, I don't think I've seen it. There's a load of them. Young Einstein. Maybe I've seen Young Einstein.
Enemy of the State and Unforgiven. Those were two other really good ones, too.
Enemy of the State is a really good one, too.
Original Lex Luthor, yes. I don't know about...
I'm not a Will Smith fan at all.
Yeah.
Has nothing to do about the slap that was heard around the world. I'm just not a Will Smith fan.
Yeah, he's always been a bit annoying, hasn't he?
He's just... Well, it's more like he doesn't really do anything that's unique. He's not really as memorable as, say, Martin Lawrence.
It's a 50-50 thing. I think my thing with Will Smith is that he bought the Karate Kid franchise just so he could cast his son in it.
Ooh.
Oh, man, I hated the remake.
Ooh, see, that's another one. You see, you could spend years unpicking that. Someone like
I
me
hated the Karate Kid.
could pick at that for years. There's all sorts going on there, isn't there?
I did see him wearing the house on his head. That was fucking funny.
Not even Jackie Chan could save that movie.
Nah, it was dead from Jump Street.
I don't know anything about Jaden Smith, apart from someone I used to look after had an obsession with him. That's all I know about Jaden Smith.
Fucking weird people.
Wearing a house on his head? How? A real house?
He was in a lot of shit.
Oh. See what Dr. Greenthumb's written about you, Carl.
Oh, I can't read the chat, so...
All right, I'll read it for you. Sorry, you missed them then. So there's been some nice messages. We missed you, Carl. Good to see you from Dr. Greenthumbs.
Oh, hey, Greeny, what's up?
There was another one from Meow Meow, which was 3 cheers for the cap'n. And then one from Dorshin saying, Carl, it's your show, make her pay. Dear me.
No, it's CPE's show. I'm just here commenting, that's all.
Make her pee.
Huey says Will Smith is a fine actor.
Only he would say that.
I've got nothing against Will Smith though, apart from what I'm hearing about him being nuts. When he was in Fresh Prince, though, we all grew up with Fresh Prince. I loved that.
Thank you, CP. You proved my point.
What?
That's exactly my point about Will Smith. You know, it's like, isn't he the guy that's on Fresh Prince? That's pretty much it. He's not.
Yeah, because he was
pretty much sums his life up.
Because he brought a few songs out, didn't he, under that name as well?
Men in Black.
Yeah, maybe that's right. Good. I love.
Yeah, I like that movie. That was the first one was good. The others were awful.
Yeah, they could go fuck themselves.
Yeah, exactly. I don't even count them other two. It's rare that a sequel even comes onto my radar. Like, obviously, Ghostbusters, the second one. After that, may as well not
I feel like saying Men in Black one was a good movie. Don't fuck it up, okay?
I don't know how you
Carlton
could fuck it up,
did
but they
steal
did.
the show. You're right there. It should have been Carlton anyway who fucking did well out of it. What did Carlton do? I think I saw him in a couple of films.
And Wild Wild West, I did not like Wild Wild West.
Nobody liked Wild Wild West.
And I seen the original show, but so yeah, so
it looked shit. The song was shit. I didn't watch it.
The show wasn't that good in the first place, but the movie was worse.
Was there a show?
Yeah, there was.
Oh right, I didn't know that. Carl should do the Carlton dance. Yeah, he should actually. Or someone should do an AI of that, shouldn't they, Chudders? I wonder if that's possible, eh? With your fancy